And welcome everyone to the Your Name Here 400 here live from Kentucky Speedway. Looking forward to some green flag racing action here tonight. I'd like to say welcome to everyone up here in the booth tonight. You'll have myself, Douglas Sargent, joined by Stephen Mahana in tonight's calling of the race. Got quite a few drivers out here tonight, 29 from what I'm seeing on the grid, ready to start things off here. So looks like we're going to have a lot of drivers out here for a Saturday afternoon race, which is something we don't see really a lot of times, with Saturday afternoon races seems to, not draw the crowd we seem to see on a Saturday night race. We kind of look at the point standings here. After last week, we talked about that a little bit. There was a bit of a jumble and a bit of a mix up there. Some of the guys moving up and down in the point standings, but the big one there was Ben Britton able to make up quite a few points on our points leader. So Brian Lee currently leading the points with 585 points, with Ben Britton trailing right now by 22 points. We see that young man week in and week out, having himself a good run, trying to get back up there. We always revert to last season was the season points leader at the end of the first 26 races going into the chase, and had himself a rather rough chase. So moving up into third position this week will be Christian Vasquez, now at 5, trailing by 79 points, with Justin Barton, the man, having himself a very good season so far this year. Been very consistent. Has shown a lot of comeback after last year. Currently showing 90 points down. And Dale Reynolds currently showing 95 points down, who will not be here tonight from my understanding. He isn't on the grid at the moment, so look to lose a few points there on Mr. Reynolds in the 27 machine. In sixth place, we got Danny Gutierrez, our driver out of Southern California there. He's 105 points out right now, has had a few rough races this year, but has been able to bounce back pretty good, and running in 7th in our points as we speak. Frankie Samato, that young man, we've all talked about that many a times. That guy seems to be one of those who has the magic magnet stuck to his car. If there's an accident, it seems like he's going to be near it somehow, some way. And then running in 8th place in our points, tonight's TB Creative Designs Pole Award winner is Dennis Wright in that number 4 machine, 115 points out. And in 9th place in our points, Chuck Garcia, steady as he can be this year, 136 points out. Chuck's been having himself a pretty good season so far this year. And rounding out the top 10, Darren Binge in that number 15 Metal Militia team. That guy, he's the owner over there, 137 points out, having himself a pretty good year so far this year too. But talk about tonight now. This is one of those tracks you don't really. These guys, there's some tight corners onto this track, so it's going to be some interesting racing here tonight in Sparta, Kentucky Speedway for the Your Name Here 400, sponsored by NuffWORLD TV. So look for quite a few green flag laps. We had a very good race going on Thursday night over in the Pure Sim series, so looking forward to a lot of good green flag racing here tonight. What do you see, Stephen, as far as being some of the big keys to getting through tonight, and these guys bringing home a victory here tonight?
Well, to start off, lane choice I think tonight is going to be one of the most difficult ones, especially whenever you're on a restart. Coming to the restart, you want to be choosing that high side. I believe that's where a lot of people are going to be choosing, and it's because it's going to be hard to pass on the bottom. But in the long run is where I think it's really going to get difficult, is because the worn tires aren't going to let you pass that on that bottom due to the fact that you're going to push up a little bit. So you're going to have to get out of the gas. So that's where we lead to track position. Track position on the restart also is going to be a key factor. And that's because you want to start up front, and you're going to have to get these positions as quick as possible, having those good tires, and then that way you can run that bottom and that high side early on. Pit road entry and exit. Pit road entry is a really difficult one. The way this track curves out, comes out of turn 4, you're pretty much turning the whole time whenever you get off the bank and hit that apron. So it's easier if it was a straight entry, because then when you get on your brakes, you're not going to, spin out. But now that you got a curve into it, it's going to be a little bit more difficult for these guys getting on the brakes coming in. Speeding road penalties. Or speeding on pit road. These penalties will take you out of a race in the long run. I had the same problem on Thursday with 30 to go. Came in, to get some tires. That transition onto the track was difficult. I got hit the brakes. It It locked up while I was turning and almost spun out, but I was able to save it. The problem was I was too fast entering pit road. So it basically took me out of the top 5 to finish that race. I think I finished somewhere in the 16th place position. Now we go on the fuel mileage. Fuel mileage I think is going to be about 60 to 70 laps now. That's not to take into the fact that anybody that wants to short pit can get good tires. But I believe that's going to be the keys to the race. And anybody that can keep those tires on their car, keep track position, no speeding penalties on pit road and exit, and extend that fuel mileage and tire wear, I think that's going to be who you'll see in victory lane.
It's a lot of stuff to think about right there, especially on a track like this where many things are going on all at the same time. But kind of looking at the stats here tonight, I was looking at our pole winner for tonight, number 4 machine, Dennis Wright. He was also last year's race winner, so he definitely knows how to get around this track, knows how to handle those kind of things. So look for a lot of stuff out of Dennis Wright down here tonight. But running on it outside at second position, right there beside him was Mr. Number 3 himself, so he's one of those guys who's, up there in front every week. Louis Bussa has been a dominant force since he came over here to NuffWORLD and has really been licking away, which is very surprising when you look at where he stands in the points, because he's having some races where he wouldn't done so well. But Louis seems like he's one of those that he's either up front or he's done for, one way or the other. So he seems to have that luck, so to speak. But I got quite a few here with some very good stats here at Kentucky Speedway. We just alluded to our number 4 machine there of Dennis Wright, but some of the other guys to kind of look out for who have done well here. Jerry Hinkle himself has a average finish of 7th place here. Average finish of 5th. Also Darren Binge, we spoke about him a little bit earlier there, that owner of Motor Militia Motorsports. You'll see him out here tonight in that number 15. He's had himself quite a few good runs. He's had a good times here at Kentucky Speedway. He's got an average finish of 5th position, which most drivers would take that any day. And also one of the guys that we talked about earlier during the points, when we was talking about points, Mr. Chuck Garcia, that 24 machine, average finish here at Kentucky right now is a 2.5. So every time he's here, he's been in the top 5. So he's definitely had some success and had some luck here at Kentucky Speedway. So another one to kind of keep a look at, slow and steady, Mr. Ben Britton, that 36 machine tonight. He's been here a few times. He's got himself an average finish of 4th place. So, got quite a few guys who average top 5 finishes here year in and year out. So Kentucky, we'll see if those guys are able to, enforce those keys to the race and take care of their cars. They're definitely going to be able to have themselves some good finishes. But some mistakes, that'll ruin the race for you real quick here. But some of the other guys, that always seem to come out and do very well, we also see here quite often. Jeremy Enix is one of those drivers who we see quite often also. So, he looked for good stuff out of Jeremy Enix tonight, too, in that number 29 machine. But, got quite a few guys out here. And we got, last week we talked about a young man, number 78 machine of Chris Melton. He's one of those rookie guys, him and Kevin Kelly Jr., who are really looking good this year. So, those will be 2 I think you should keep your eye on tonight, too, as Kevin Kelly Jr. especially. And he was out there. He was one of our fastest guys for quite some time during the happy hour and the practice session. So, he's another one I would say to keep an eye on tonight. And also that number 7 of Howard Wildrick is, he's another one to keep your eye on tonight. But we got quite a few cars out here in the track tonight, who are doing pretty well and could bring home a victory. But it's all going to be, like you said, Stephen, about who's going to be able to manage all those things, all those keys to the race, and take care of things.
Yeah, that's true. And you spoke a little bit about Chuck Garcia. Well, tonight, Chuck Garcia is going to have to start in the tail end of the field because he didn't post a qualifying time. So he will be making his way through 31 racers now that we have on the grid. So it'll be interesting to see where he makes his moves and how long it takes him to get to that front position.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough one for Garcia right there. We talked about last week. We saw Brandon Lowe's there at Sonoma. He got that same penalty right there to start the race and ended up going almost caution-free the entire race, and it turned out just to be too much for him to make up. But here at here at Kentucky, you know, it's not as big of a track, but you'll definitely, if you get caught with that penalty, you could easily go a lap down at the beginning of the race. So that could be a tough break for Chuck Garcia. We've got about a minute left here in practice and such, so we're going to take a quick break here and jump away, get our national anthem and stuff, and we'll be back with some live racing action here from Sparta, Kentucky and Kentucky Speedway.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars
And welcome back here to Kentucky Speedway and tonight's running of the Your Name Here 400, sponsored by NuffWORLD TV. Getting ready to go take the grid here in just a moment. I got 267 laps of racing to be set down here tonight. I was kind of looking at some of the stuff out there just during practice, but we'll kind of go through your starting grid here. Of course, tonight on the pole, tonight's TV Creative Designs Pole Award winner is the number 4 of Dennis Wright. On his outside, starting in second place, will be the number 3 of Louis Bussa. Starting in third will be the 29 of Jeremy Enix. Pulling off the grid in fourth is number 16 of Brian Lee. On the inside, row 3 will be Darren Bench, starting out in number 15. Outside of him, Danny Gutierrez in 08. Starting in seventh will be the 51 of Nick Timms. Alongside him will be the 78 of Chris Melton. Right behind them, in ninth place, will be the 7 of Howard Wildrick, followed in 10th by Frankie Samato at number 23. 11th position will be Kevin Kelly Jr. in the number 87, followed with Doc Stout on his outside at 62. Starting in 13th will be the 48 of Dominic Caruso. On his outside will be the number 30 of Kevin Kelly. In 15th will be the number 88 of Ed Wilson. And starting alongside him in 16th will be the 61 of Charles Payne. Starting 17th will be the 04 of Justin McLucas. Alongside him in 18th, the 25 of Todd Layton. Starting in 19th will be the 56 of Brendan Butler. Starting in 20th will be the 8 of Christian Vasquez. Right behind them in 21st will be the 03 of Bruce Turner. And alongside him will be the number 12 of Jerry Hinkle. Starting 23rd will be the 13 of Tony Ball. And 24th, the 99 of Dennis the Turtle Jenkins. Starting in 25th will be Big Mike Houston in that number 9 machine. Starting in 26th will be the 32 of Justin Barton. Starting 26th, the number 28 of Steve Deo. Alongside him, the 64 of John Lawler. Starting in 29th will be Ben Britton in that 34. Starting 30th will be Chuck Garcia in the 24. And alongside him in 30th, the number 37 of Jimmy Leggio. That winds out our field. As we talked about earlier, we'll have 2 guys who are going to have those penalties for not qualifying, so look for a couple of guys to peel down the road after this first lap. We got green flag racing And it looks like that number 4 of Dennis Wright has pulled out and took off. He's last year's winner here and also took the pole tonight. So got some good racing action going on right behind him though with the 3 of Lewis Bussa and the 29 of Jeremy Enix. Jeremy trying to get up there and move forward as quickly as he possibly can, you know, to try to make as many spots as he can, like we talked about with those fresh tires. So these guys got a pretty good little battle going on here, coming through 3 and 4 side by side. Neither one of them have been able to take that position yet. So it's going to be interesting to see how this one pans out for these two guys. But looks like we got a caution out there on the field. I don't know what quite happened back there. It looks like we have had some cars with a couple of issues, and Wright has dropped down. Looks like he slowed pretty heavily. I don't know. He's waiting on. Looks like they're waiting on the pace car to catch up. The pace car wasn't able to get out and catch up to him quick enough, so we've got to wait on the pace car to get back in front of this field here, as the pace car is coming up onto the back stretch right now. So these guys will have to sort it up, get back double file once again, and take things, you know, once again. Looks like been told it's a 56 car of Brandon Butler.
Yeah, and if we bring up the replay, Brandon Butler looked like he just got a little bit sideways going into turn 3. No, I take that back. He pushed up the track, and it looked like maybe Steve Mayo got in the back of him and just stacked up the whole field there.
Yeah, I was looking at a few of our good cars got taken out in that too. Looks like Christian Vasquez also was involved. But, looks like that might have been Todd Layton, the 25, who may have got into the back of him there just a little bit as he came up to the track. So yeah, it definitely looks like Butler got in there a little too hot and just wasn't able to hold that bottom groove. Moved up a little bit, and Layton got into him. So quite a few cars. Looks like the 8 of Vasquez right there getting into him. So, you know, and looks like Tony Ball also involved in that. So a lot of these guys, and looks like the 9 of Mike Houston got into the back of someone there. Couldn't tell exactly who that was he got into. So quite a few cars end up getting involved in that one. So unfortunate incident there, and looks like it was too much for Butler's car to be able to handle, as he's already moved that car back to the garage. So looks like he sustained some heavy damage there and has already parked that car for the night. Very interesting turning events already on the first lap. So, you know, we got almost a green flag lap there, had some mishaps getting down into 3, and a few cars are going to be damaged out of that one. So probably see a lot of guys heading down pit road here to get some of that damage taken care of, those guys that were running in the back. So unfortunate chain of events that led to that one, and looks like, you know, we got one car already out with Brandon Butler there. So a lot of these guys going to be on pit road. As you see, most of the leaders also ducking in, and those lead lap cars getting down into the pits. The unfortunate benefactors there, though, that caution coming out that early was our 2 guys in the back there with Garcia and Leggio both, you know, missing qualifying. We talked about that earlier. We're going to have to serve those drive-throughs, so, you know, didn't get a full green flag lap in. So neither of those were able to get down and serve those penalties. So, you know, if that had been on lap 2, it would have been a savior for them. You know, neither one of them would have run a lap down that way. But now with it being on lap 1, we got to try this once again, see if they can get down in there and get that drive-through served.
Yeah, and Brandon Butler, he's a new driver, probably came in here, you know, he practiced a little bit on Thursday. Just probably got a little bit nervous and went in a little bit too hard. Just a rookie mistake there out there on the track at that point. But hopefully the rest of these guys didn't get too much damage, and we'll be able to, you know, fix their cars if they can and get back out there and contend for the lead.
Yeah, like you said, Brandon Butler, one of those guys, he's been around NuffWORLD Racing here for quite a few years, but had to take the last couple of years off, so hasn't had a whole lot of experience over here with us on the on this series. So, you know, coming out tonight, making, I think it's his 2nd start of this year, just like you said, may have been a little too much, you know, that the nervous part, you know, brand new guys trying to get in here and run some laps, and unfortunately just misjudged that corner and got in a little too hot. So. But I'm sure we'll see Brandon back, you know, before it's all over with, for a few more races here with us before this season's over with, get some time under, and, you know, try to be back for next year and make a better run next year. But looking up front here, you know, we still got the 4, you know, of course, of Dennis Wright leading the pack. It looks like Jeremy Enix did move into 2nd place, and amongst all that going on, looks like Lewis Busta dropped back a few positions. I'm figuring he must have went down pit lane and would have got some tires, but currently running up in that 3rd place position right now, Kevin Kelly Jr., that number 87 machine. We talk about the rookies. That's another one of those rookies we got out here this year who's really looking good so far this year, and pulling off quite a few good runs. So look for great things coming out of Kevin Kelly Jr. over the next couple of years out of this young man.
Yeah, there's no doubt. It seems like this kid loves these mile-and-a-half tracks. He does really well here and is able to capitalize on them. So I definitely look to see him in the top 10, top 15 sometime today, and at least finish there.
Right, and it kind of goes out to kind of show the love and the family atmosphere we have here in NuffWorld. Also, that Kevin Kelly Jr., that's the son of Kevin Kelly, who drives that number 30 machine. But if I ain't mistaken, Jr. is only like 14, 15 years old, somewhere in that range. So he's out here competing with these guys and getting a lot of respect from them too.
Yeah, absolutely. And these guys are doubling up for the restart, so that was the one to go there at the line.
Right, and like I say, we got some green flag action coming here. Getting ready to take the green coming out of turn 2 at pace car, moving down. And that's the thing about it too. These guys are sitting out here right now, following along behind the pace car at 55 miles an hour. It just seems slow, so slow to you while you're out here driving around like this. Especially especially at this early point, because most of these guys have been running all practice laps and stuff and such. Full throttle, full bore the whole way, and now running this 55 has got to be slow, and that's tough on a guy.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. But they'll be glad to know that pace car should pull off this time by, and they'll be back up to speed here in a few laps.
Right, you are. As we're coming through coming out of turn 4 here at the moment, pace car is getting ready to duck off as he's moving down onto the apron now. So we're getting ready to come around, take that green flag, and get back to some green flag racing. So we'll look to see if Jeremy Enix is able to do anything down there at the inside going into turn 1, to try to take that lead away from Dennis Wright in that number 4 machine. And we got the green flag, and Dennis Wright looks like he's got a good start there, right around the inside lane. So Wright got a definitely good restart on that and got going real quick as we got Doc Stout up on the outside of Jeremy Enix right now. Looks like he was trying to make a move there, and they'll come back down the backstretch. Wow, they're sorting out everywhere back there. Looks like guys are just running everywhere.
Yeah, I think, like we said earlier in the keys of the race, these guys are trying to get the position that they can early, and we got somebody who turned around in the back.
Oh, I hate to hear that, but looks like right now we got a caution out, so not sure who exactly that was, but it's kind of looking there. One of the cars that was coming up through the field pretty quick, too, is that the 88 machine of Ed Wilson. He's currently being shown in the number 5 position. Looks like he might have a pretty good car under him tonight, and looking up there in front, lead a few laps. But Ed, he's got that patient aggressive attitude, especially this early parts of the race. But,
yeah, you're right about that, definitely. It looks like we got the replay up on the screen right now, and it looks like it was Melton calling that 23 of Frankie Samato, and the 25 just got to the back of him and pushed him up to the top of the track. They get out of our way.
Yeah, that's one of the things about here in Kentucky. You see a few guys they'll be using some brakes and they're trying to get no set. That is a lot harder corner to get into than what the 1 and 2 is. And some of these guys will use a little bit of brake getting down in there, and if you're not ready, and you're the guy behind him, you're not ready for that. You can do just like what we just saw. Get in there a little faster than the guy in front of you and cause that little bump, cause the car to go around quick at these speeds. So. Looks like the good thing there, the 78 collected in and got up into the fence there and such. Looks like he's going to retire it for today. He's out also, but looks like pretty much the rest of the field fairly well got through there unscathed.
Yeah, that is true. But it's hard to say that. I think we had the same problem in the Thursday race. A couple guys just got a little bit antsy up at the beginning, and then we had 2 cautions early, and then we went green flag racing from there on out. So. It's just like the keys of the race. These guys are trying to get so much track advantage and track position right now that it might be, a little bit aggressive right now. So they just need to dial it down, and these guys will get it going green, and I have no worries about that.
Yeah, like I say, we're 7 laps in right now, so once most of these guys get through those, get into the race jitters, get those out of their system, so to speak, we get kind of strung out here a little bit. We're going to have a lot of good racing, I'm sure, but right now everything is so packed and so tight, and like you said, Stephen, everybody's trying to get all that they can out of those brand new tires. You got to get them while you can, just like we talked about in just by, talked about during the pre-race, you got to be able to take care of those tires, but you also got to get all the track position you possibly can, because that's a big key here. But looks like we, may have had a little bit of a, pace car taking his time getting back out there. So still waiting on the pace car to get out in front of these guys. So, as he's coming out, looks like the driver of our pace car may have fell asleep here. So let's jump to a quick commercial here, Stephen, and we'll be back right after these quick commercial break. And welcome back live here to Kentucky Speedway for the Your Name Here 400, sponsored by NuffWORLD TV. And kind of looking at some of the things here as we're getting ready to go back to green. So far nothing much has changed. Dennis Wright still leading the way, but this will be a chance once again for Jeremy Enix running right there in second down his inside to see if he can get a better restart this time. Try to wrestle that lead away from Dennis Wright in the number 4 machine as we're getting ready to go green here. Looks like the green flag is just about to fall. And there's a green flag drops, and everybody's coming up to speed now, getting up through. Looks like I had a little bit of a stack up on that inside line down there from 5th, 6th on back and such. But either way, Dennis Wright moves out to a pretty nice little lead there. Gets a good restart once again, going down into 1. Is able to drop down on that inside line right in front of Enix, and they head off into turns into the long back stretch here. Looks like we had some excitement going on back there in the back a little bit, but Ed Wilson, as you see there on your right-hand screen, currently running in the up to 4th place after that restart. So looks like we got some kind of debris caution or something just came out. That extended cleanup may not have got everything. Looks like may have been some fluids maybe still left down there in the corners.
Yeah, we're going to take a look at this replay here and see what happened. It looks like it was involved the 30 car of Kevin Kelly.
Yeah, it looks like as they were coming up to the take the green flag there, it looks like that inside line, we talked about that, it kind of stacked up a little bit, but it looks like the 7 and the 30 had a little contact there getting down into turn 1. Not sure what happened right there, but interesting chain of events. And either way, Kevin Kelly goes around right in front of the field. Unfortunate incident for Kevin Kelly as Dominic LaRussa takes drastic measures, gets down on the pit road access lane there to try to miss all that, and still just about caught a little piece of it as Kevin Kelly was sliding down the track.
Yeah, and that's a good job on his part. That grass, anytime you get in that grass, it's going to be slick for these guys, so definitely a good job of avoiding that wreck.
Yeah, Dom LaRusso, that number 48 machine, he's one of those guys we kind of talked about earlier during the pre-race. He's one of those guys who's looking to have a real good run out here himself tonight, kind of get himself back up a little further there in the points. So, he's definitely looking to keep the fenders on that car here tonight as he's sitting currently in 15th in the points. He's only 1 point out of being into those top 14 and being locked into the chase spot now at this point. So, you know, Dom definitely looking to keep the fenders on that car and have himself a good finish here tonight and take over that number 14 position, or even better if he can do it.
Yeah, and it doesn't look like too many people are going to take this this caution and bring it down and get some new tires on it.
You know, that's a bit of a surprise too. I mean, we haven't run many green flag laps, but like we said, you know, a lot of these guys, we talked about it, you know, even if it's only 3 or 4 laps, those tires can make a big difference out here in the long run. So kind of surprising to see that a few came down. You know, a few will come in. Looks like take some fuel, but maybe not even, you know, nothing more than that, taking fuel. So looks like these guys are, you know, a few of them down there on pit road, but most of them stayed out, just like you said, Stephen.
Yeah, most of our leaders, but the one guy that I did see peel down and take 4 tires is Jeremy Enix. He was up in the 2nd place spot, but he decided to go ahead and bring it on down and get 4 new tires, and along with Louis Bussa, he seems to be pitting every time that we have a caution. So
those two may be banking on the fact that there'll be some long green flag racing coming up here soon, and they're going to try to run that fuel. The tire strategy as best they possibly can. You know, and but you know, being back there in the back where they're at now is going to be make things a little bit tough. Now they're going to have to worry about you know, if there is a caution, they're going to have to avoid that. They're also going to have to pass a lot of cars to get back up here in the front row. But with Enix, you know, dropping down and moving, you know, back there and taking that pit, then that moves Kevin Kelly Jr. back up to 2nd place here. So, you know, and Doc Stout, we talked about him just a moment ago, you know, starting to make a couple of moves on that outside line there. He's moved himself up to 3rd. And then Ed Wilson currently running in 4th. That's where he'll line up here. So he's up into that top 5 so far tonight. And, you know, Ed's one of those guys who, you know, is looking for definitely looking for a good finish here at Kentucky, as it's not been the best track to him. But
none of these guys are actually lining up to go green this time by. So, you know, and you speak about Ed Wilson. Ed Wilson is a good race car driver. He gives people room when he needs to give them room, or when they, you know, he lets them. But it's good to see him up here in the 3rd place position. Definitely a 1.5 mile track driver, also like the 87, who is now in 2nd place. And when we go back up here to our leader, and when we spoke about track position early on in the keys to the race, well, that outside line is exactly what we had thought it was going to be. It's going to be where these guys restart. They can, you know, get that speed up off of the corner and get by that 2nd place. And that bottom lane doesn't seem to be getting as much traction, and it's stacking them up. So that outside lane is where Dennis Wright's been choosing. So it's definitely a fast line.
Right, and like we talked about, as we go back to green here, we talked about during pre-race, you know, Dennis knows how to get around this track. He won it here last year, so he knows that outside line, just like we talked about, is definitely has the better advantage out there. It looks like the 87 down there kind of stacked him up. Once again, like you said, that inside line just doesn't seem to get going, but he got a little bump there from the 88 to get him up to speed fairly quick as the 88, and looks like Doc Stout there having a pretty good battle coming through 2 and 3, or 1 and 2, but Ed's able to clear him, moves up into that 3rd place position, but he's got Brian Lee in that 16 following right in the tire tracks behind him. So, you know, Brian Lee, you know, one of those guys, we see him up front quite often too. You know, he's going to be looking to put that number 16 up in the front.
Yeah, and right behind those guys, we got Doc Stout along with Samanto and the 04, I believe, of Justin McLucas. Battling out. They were 3 wide for just a moment. They got it separated. Now Doc Stout and Justin are going at it.
Yeah, unfortunately, Doc definitely didn't get the best restart, and he's stuck up there on that outside line, you know, pretty much the entire time. But these guys seem to, with these, you know, tires cooled down now, able to hold that inside line at the moment. And Doc has lost quite a few positions, moving all the way back now to 8th position, as McLucas looks like he should get around him here. And the 61 of Charles Payne there is looking to make that same move down on the inside as he gets up beside of him now as they head down the backstretch. So, you know, unfortunate chain of events. Doc Stout not able to get that car down on the inside line, loses about 6 positions right there in that first lap. So that's unfortunate for Doc, but now he's able to get back down in front of Charles Payne there and kind of get that car back where it needs to be. So you're going to see a lot of these guys, you know, in this early part trying the very best they possibly can, you know, to get all the track position and get down that bottom line and use it as much as they possibly can at this point in the race.
Yeah, and Dark Stout restarted in the 4th position, so he's only lost about 4 positions on that restart, but it just happened so quick that he lost those positions, and he's trying to gain back, you know, that momentum that he did lose on it. So that just goes to show you, you know, these restarts are critical. You need to get up on that wheel and hit that gas when you can, because these guys, they'll just freight train you.
Yeah, and looking at this battle up here a little bit, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, and even 6th, you know, they're all pretty well close together, as our leader, Dennis Wright, has kind of just took off and separated themselves. But these guys, these battles aren't through yet. Brian Lee is trying,
and the 88 goes around.
Looks like Gutierrez got a little tap in the behind there behind him also. Oh, and Charles Payne gets the 08. Quite a few cars involved in this one. Looks like Ed just got down there and got a little tail happy there in that corner. Rear end decided to come around him. Nice lazy spin, but unfortunate incident for Ed Wilson, who's running in the 3rd place position right there. And looks like quite a few cars are going to be involved in this one.
Yeah, and that 88 car is damaged. I mean, every part of that car is bashed in. And you know, the unlucky recipient of that caution, Doc Stout.
That is true. That is true. But to see Ed Wilson there, he's trying to get that car going back in the right direction, but he's now stuck in that area, you know, where the banking starts. It's hard to get that car moving at that position right there. So, you know, as the leaders are starting to come around, looks like Gutierrez got a pretty good piece of that also. Looks like Wilson has behind the line. That engine may be done after that, you know, trying to get it going there. He may have just blew the engine sitting there on that apron.
Yeah, we're sitting here looking at that replay, and Ed Wilson just goes into turn 3, and that back end kicks out on him. Not much, you know, you can do about it at that point. But you see the 08 trying to do evasive maneuvers and avoid that wreck, and he's down there on the apron spinning while the 88's on top.
Yeah, it kind of creates a lot of confusion for a lot of drivers there, especially you expect, you know, that 88 to start coming back down the track. So most of those guys, you know, did stay low, but then when you had the 08 down there spinning also, it makes it a real obstacle course trying to get through there. You got to kind of pick and choose your lines, get through there, and hope for what's best for you. And there was quite a few. Looks like Kevin Kelly was one of the guys right there. You see him
sure
kind of make a quick left-hand turn down pit road to avoid Ed Wilson. So good heads-up traffic right there on Kevin Kelly's part to stay out of that one. But yeah, I'm sure you're going to see quite a few guys hitting pit road this time down. So unfortunate incident. Looks like that one may have also taken out the 99 of Dennis Jenkins also, as he's dropped that number 99 machine back behind the wall also. So we got 4 cars out already in the race, unfortunately, 20 laps in. You know, this track seems like it might be getting pretty slick out there with the temperatures what they are today.
Yeah, but, you know, I looked at those track temperatures about lap 10, and they were at 90 degrees, and now we're already up to 95 degrees, so it's definitely heating up pretty quick. These guys are going to have to work on these cars. It must be just coming in real slick, getting slippery, getting greasy, and not much you can do about it early on in the race, but with these cautions, they should be able to tighten up those cars and get back out there and hope for the best.
You know, kind of thinking back to that might have been the strategy a little bit earlier we talked about on the last caution with Jeremy Enix and Lewis Bussett coming down. They may have started noticing that with their cars getting a little loose too, and used that last caution as a chance to drop down into pit lane, you know, kind of tighten those things up maybe a little bit. So that might have been something that they were trying to do now that you look back at it.
Yeah, and you know, even LaRusso took advantage of that, and now he stayed out this caution and was able to become the leader this time. But I don't know if he's going to go into pits or not, but he's definitely taken advantage of track position by staying out this time, and maybe with those first 2-3 cautions, he was able to work on that car and now able to stay out this caution.
Yeah, but it's interesting. LaRusso, we talked about it a little bit earlier, though, on those restarts. He is down on the inside line with Wright up on the outside. So going to be interesting to see if LaRusso can get a better jump down the inside than what we've seen everybody else so far tonight been able to get. But it seems like that high line is definitely the line. High side is definitely the side you want to be on for those restarts so far with what we've seen tonight. So we'll see if this pans out any differently.
And you know that's definitely true, but the one thing that LaRusso Dominic does have in his advantage, he's the leader. So that forward car can't beat him to the start-finish line, otherwise he's going to give it up before they exit turn 2. So it would be interesting, like you said, to see how that forward car is if he's able to stay side by side with him at the start-finish line and see what happens when they take that green.
You know, and that's one of the most nervous parts of a restart too, is if you're at second place car, trying to make sure that you can keep sight of that number 1 position, but at the same time not beating to the line. So that takes a skill right there. And like you said, as we're getting ready to go back to green here, we'll see how this pans out for LaRusso down on the inside line. But looks like we got the green flag out. Russo seems to have got a pretty good start there on the inside line as, you know, they head off into down the front stretch here into turn 1. He's able to clear Dennis Wright getting down into 1, but Kevin Kelly Jr. looks like that whole inside line might have got a good restart this time as Jr. is starting to get up beside Dennis Wright there, challenge him for that number 2 position. So, but looks like, you know, they're maybe starting as Jr. Well, they get down into turn 3. Looks like he had to get on the binders a lot more than the rest, and you know, is sliding back a few positions now, but LaRusso looks like he's going to lead them around to, well, Wright makes a dive. Yeah, looks like Wright may have got him right there at that line, so, you know, very interesting. Wright's back up to the point now, followed by Brian Lee in that second place machine. LaRusso looking on the high side now. Looks like Wright will take advantage of that and drop down on the inside with these fresher tires as Kevin Kelly Jr. now moving down to take away that number 3 position as he's side by side with you know, with Dominic Russo, and you got Lewis Butzer pushing down. Looks like a green flag coming off the corner here, so real good race for that number 3 position going on right now.
Yeah, and that 87, ooh, I bet that scared the old 48 when he pushed up there and then that tri-oval. However, you know what, we go back to that restart and look at and talk about that. The 48's on the inside, the 4's on the outside. The good thing about being on the outside is that you can push to the wall and not have to worry about getting in that line to draft, because there is a certain little bit amount of draft. If you're on that inside and there's somebody on the outside, that outside lane is going to move a whole lot quicker and pick up speed than that inside line.
Yeah, that is true. You're going to be able to pick a lot more speed up coming off of turn 2 off that outside line as Lewis Bussa has now moved himself up into 3rd. We see him there, but looks like those top 2, Dennis Wright and Brian Lee, you know, they got themselves a real good restart checked out there, and they got about a 1.5 second lead right now over 3rd place. So, you know, Wright and Lee are just leading the way and putting down the laps right now. But looks like right there behind Kevin Kelly Jr., that 5th place on back, looks like they still really haven't sorted those things out. There's a lot of hard racing going on back there. McLuke is currently right now running in that 5th position, followed by Frankie Samato, and Russo still holding tight on the right side, trying to keep all the position that he possibly can. As you see, Jeremy Enix now going underneath them too. So a lot of these guys are beginning to freight training. So, you know, Russo's went from 1st to currently showing him in 7th right now in the last 2 laps. So unfortunate being stuck on it outside with those little bit older tires. There's a lot of guys behind him right now, who did take new tires.
Yeah, you know, and then you look back.
Are you looking to start your own professional internet radio station the easy way? Sam Vibe was specifically designed for you. From the makers of Sam Broadcaster, Sam Vibe takes advantage of the cloud to let you focus on what is important: managing and running your station. There are 5 simple steps to get started with Sam Vibe. 1. Sign up for a free account at NuffWORLD.com. No credit card information is required to get a free account. 2. Download and install Sam Vibe. 3. Check your email to retrieve your account information and login details. 4. Run Sam Vibe and enter your username and password. 5. The Sam Vibe Quick Start Wizard shows you the first steps to start your station. Simply upload your music, turn on your station, and tune in. Too easy? Don't worry, Sam Vibe caters for the needs of both novice and professional broadcasters. Sound exciting? Give it a try. Sign up for free now at SamVibe.com to experience how broadcasting should be.
Yeah, most definitely. I'm pulling for Frankie. Yeah, he's had so much bad luck throughout the season, but he's hanging tough to today, and he's looking real strong. So if this thing looks like it's going to try to stay green a little bit, we might finally get a chance to see what these these cars can do in the long run. Maybe that's one reason why Brian is backing off a little bit, just to save that car, expecting a long run here.
Could very well be. And I'm looking back here at the 7th place position. Looks like Chuck Garcia now is starting to come under fire from that 34 of Ben Britton. We talked about it a little bit earlier, but Ben's trying to move himself back up in the front, get as much positions as those are our 2 points leaders. We talked about Brian Lee there a moment ago, and now Ben Britton, as these guys are starting to, Britton's starting to move back up through the field after he was involved in that last incident there and had to go down pit road, spun it around a few times. Looks like that damage might not have hurt his car all that much, as he's currently running in 8th place position as we see the 64 of John Lawler, who just came out of pit road there down on the inside, coming back up to speed. So, the 34 may be starting to march forward here a little bit with that damaged machine and trying to knock off a few positions, a few more points.
Yeah, I'll tell you, BB is one of endurance, and even with damage, he seems to know how to get himself back on the track and stay competitive. And sure enough, he is staying right with Chuck and Kelly Jr. there for the fight for 6th through 8th place there. It's not far behind Chuck, but he looks comfortable right now. Looks like they're settled in as well, expecting a long green flag run here.
Yeah, it looks like we got a lot of green flag coming right now, but these guys are, everything's starting to get spread out, across the track stuff. Everything's getting stretched out now, so that's when we're going to see our best racing, and definitely when we're going to see a lot of these guys, see how well their cars work now in the long run, because so far, I think the biggest we've had so far was about a 50-lap run, so, if we can keep this thing green, and, I think you said, Stephen, that pit window was around 60 or 70 laps or so?
Yes, sir, that's correct, 60 or 70 laps. Now, that's if they're not going to go ahead and short pit it, and try to get their good tires on early and maybe make up some track position.
That'll be something interesting to watch as this race pans out too. If it stays green like this, how many guys may try to short pit and try to pick up a position or two on those tires, and who might try to stay out here all the way to the end. And we see a nice battle going on right here as the 87 and 24 are navigating their way around the lap down car of Charles Payne there. So these guys are settling down for the moment. Garcia's tucked in behind Kelly Jr. as they try to go through, the lap down car, as Bruce Turner has started to move himself up into that too as we start to watch here. He's, involved in the accident early during the race, but he's been able to maintain that car inside the top 10 right now, and looks like he's going to clear the 61 machine here coming down the backstretch of Charles Payne and, move down into the corner. But Howard Wildrick back there in 10th place, he's not riding too far behind them, so he's looking at a shot possibly to make something happen for himself here before this is all over with too.
Yeah, most definitely. I'm just happy to see them settle down and finally get some green flag laps in there. We really had an ugly start there, and it's funny because right after the 3rd caution there, I was the first one to tell everyone, all right, now let's get some green flags in here. Let's stop all of this. Or these early cautions here, and sure enough, who was the next one to spin it?
Well, that's usually the way it goes too. I've noticed that over time as we talk about drivers with calm things down over here, and usually that's the next person that always, it's kind of like that bad luck charm, so to speak.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, as we talk, looks like Dennis Wright in that number 4 machine has closed up now onto Frankie Samato, and is looking to start making some moves here for that 4th place position. So, Dennis Wright, whatever adjustments he made to that car during the pit cycle has definitely paid off, as he's closed in now on 4th place position and is starting to run down Frankie Samato. So, it's going to be interesting to see when these two get together, if Frankie delegates the spot right away or if it's a fight for it. But, and looking not that far in front of Frankie Samato and Dennis Wright, Brian Lee there's not a large distance between the two of them. So, once they get there, it's a possibility, Dennis Wright might be looking for a 3rd place position here before, the next 20 laps or so, definitely before this green flag cycles out and they have to start hitting pit road.
Oh yeah. And talking about moving forward, how about the 34 car and got a caution coming out?
Yeah, that 34 is definitely marching through. You know, he's moved himself up into the 6th place position here before this caution coming out. Looks like he got around the 24 and 87 of Garcia and Kevin Kelly Jr. So, you know, unfortunate thing there, this caution coming out. But, you know, it might be a good thing for Dennis Wright. We just talked about, you know, he's been marching back up through the field, picked up a lot of positions there. He was about to start doing it out with Frankie Samato there for 4th. But, you know, with that caution coming out now, that's going to stack the field back up together. But looks like it was the 37 there who just maybe got in there a little too hot. He may have just had a right rear blowout, kind of the way that thing looks, you know, the way it just rear end just kind of jumped around. Looks like the right rear may have just went down. Yeah, that's what it looks like to me.
Yeah, he went down into that corner, and you know, it looked like he may have gotten loose, or the right rear went down, but he tried to catch it, and it just turned around on him. Doesn't look like it was that bad, but it could have turned out to be real bad had he come back across traffic instead of catching that wall.
Yeah, had that wall not been there and he came back across, it could have definitely been a ugly day for himself and for several others there. As you know, there was a lot of traffic coming through on that. So we'll get to see him.
You know, Dizzy, I think we saw that as he got out of that corner, he tried to keep it up against the wall coming out of 4. And he definitely had a right rear down because he tried to keep it straight, and whenever he got back to the throttle, it came around on him and came back into the grass. So it did come across the track, but luckily nobody was around.
Yeah, one of those things we talked about in keys to the race tonight. You know, you definitely got to be able to take care of those cars, keep those tires underneath you, you know, or you run into incidents, you know, just like that right there. Unfortunately, you know, that tire goes down. There's really not a whole lot you can do with that car. But it looks like our leaders are heading down pit road here, so that's going to give up the lead. Lewis Bussa, the whole crew coming down, you know, that lead pack. But car stayed out. The number 12, Jerry Hinkle, looks like he's going to stay out there and try to lead a lap or so, try to get that valuable bonus point. You know, as we're starting to get a little over midway through the season, you know, those bonus points are going to start to rack up and be something that, you know, you're definitely going to want to need. As looks like Lewis Bussa will be the first off pit road, so he'll be able to maintain that. You know, that 2nd place position. Looks like Brian Lee may have lost the position on pit road there. So, you know, very interesting.
And Frankie Samato also, Dennis Wright made it out into the 4th place position in front of Frankie Samato. So Jeremy made up 1 position, and Brian Lee and Samato lost 1.
Yep. So a few changes there on pit road. You know, the guys coming out and where they're at, but. You know, interesting, you know, like I say, probably a lot of these guys are still possibly trying to maybe work on those cars, throwing some wrenches in the back window and such, you know, try to make those cars that much better. But, you know, it's going to be interesting to see as this race plays on like this, you know, these guys that are making those adjustments. It looks like Jerry Hinkle might be heading down pit road going off. He led that lap, you know, and got that bonus point, so he's going to possibly head off.
I was a little bit surprised to see the 61 go in there. I know he just recently did a green flag pit there, and I didn't think he had not more than, 20 laps on those tires. I thought he might stay off 4-wave around there.
Yeah, it looks like pretty much everyone going in and get new rubber on these cars. So it looks like Lewis Bussa. Well, no, Hinkle, excuse me, I was not paying attention, I guess, but Hinkle did decide to stay out, it looks like.
Yeah, but I wouldn't be surprised to see him go in there. As a matter of fact, looks like he's going down to the apron right now there. So I think he just, no, we're coming out of turn 2, is it? Yeah, so can't really tell yet, but I think he's going to go in.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me to see him go in. It would probably surprise me more to see Jerry stay out right now with these tires the way they are, because he's been out here. I don't recollect seeing him head down pit road at any time during that green flag run. So I don't think he's going to stay out here and try to take a chance being out on tires, you know, with 30, 40, 50 laps on them versus, you know, those guys right behind him with those fast cars and brand new tires. I don't see him taking the gamble like that at this point in the race. But, you know, it'll be given to see as he's down on that, it looks like he's pulling down onto the apron now, going to head down pit road. So, you know, Hinkle's going to give up the lead there, led a couple of laps. Got that all-inclusive bonus point that's much needed. So, looks like the 62 of Doc Stout was our lucky dog. As you see him on the right-hand side of your screen going around taking that lucky dog. So that's going to move Doc Stout up another lap. So got to put him back on the lead lap. So, you know, good.
It looks like it puts, what, 16 cars there on the lead lap? Am I reading that right? Help me there.
Yeah, it looks like 16 cars should be back on the lead lap. So, you know, that'll be one more car to add to the fight now. So, excuse me, 15 cars. Hold on, 16. You're right, Ed. My telemetry here is getting a little haywire on me, but yeah, it looks like 16 cars on the lead lap. And with 16 cars on the lead lap, we've currently got looks like 7 cars out in the race. So, you know, got a few going off a little bit early tonight, unfortunately. You know, the latest victim being, of course, Todd Layton. We talked about that a little bit earlier. Excuse me, Justin McLucas now going off. So we got 21 cars left here in the field tonight. So, you know, it's coming down to getting close to the midway point. These guys are going to start looking at, you know, definite strategies, and it's going to be time to start ratcheting things up a little bit.
Yeah, most definitely. I'm glad to see Kevin Kelly, even though he's dealing with a lot of damage, he's the Iron Man. I tell you, he will fight even with damage through a race. He understands how important these points are, and he stays in there. He's fighting with that damage. I know earlier on he took about 15-something seconds of damage. He can get a top 15 out of here, or at least a top 20. I think he's right there on the tape.
Yeah, get the green flag here. Outside line, gets the good jump out on that outside line, which first time I've seen Lewis make that outside line tonight. But Dennis Wright also up on that high side with him, pulling up you know, on the back quarter panel there of Jeremy Enix. Looks like he's going to try to fight him for second here real soon, but backs out a little bit, backs out into third place position. Now makes a move down on the inside, going into 3 and 4. So interesting move here by Dennis Wright as Ryan Leaf moves up on the back of him. So these two are really fighting it out for second position here as Dennis Wright made a couple of real nice moves there to try to get around Jeremy Enix, but Jeremy's able to maintain at the moment for that second place position. So, you know, these two are definitely trying to fight things out here quick and early, you know, with these brand new tires, fresh tires. So, but looks like Lewis Bussa has moved away. He got a little bit of an advantage there as Dennis Wright settles back down into third place position right now. And, you know, he's definitely running a different line than these first two cars are here. So, we'll see how things...
Looking at Dennis Wright, though, go through those turns, it looked like he was a little bit tight on the early part of that run. So either that or Jay's holding him down to that bottom line just a little bit. So he wasn't able to come off that corner and get the speed that he normally does get. However, I definitely think he's going to see that 4 car, you know, back up here in the second place position. He's not going to give it up too easily.
Yeah, and look at how that car ran during the last green flag cycle we had. It looks like the car is good on the long run. So, you know, we'll see as we go back to fight that position one more time here before long. But Dennis, after having that pit road speeding penalty, has definitely bounced back and recovered well.
Yeah, baby, it's about to get good up front, but I tell you, the back is looking good as well as Kevin Kelly is trying to move off the third place. 24 right there, side by side, coming through the turn there. And I tell you, they're putting together and fighting to try to zero up front.
Yeah, these guys have been a lot of action going on back here with this whole group here tonight. These guys have been fighting, you know, those are the guys who are looking to get those top 5s, and whoever seems to lead that pack seems to be having the better advantage of the group, you know. But right now it's Kevin Kelly Jr. leading that pack, but Garcia looks like he's looking to go underneath the 34 machine of Ben Britton. Ben Britton's giving him a good bit of room there, so Chuck running that second groove, and Britton up in that third groove there, as Chuck's still down on the inside. And looks like Bruce Turner moves way down low, putting a move on Howard Wildrick also. So, you know, looks like Turner's got a car starting to come alive too here as they go back down into turn 1. They are still side by side between the 34 and 24 of Garcia and Britton, as Bruce Turner looks like he moved up, you know, and he's running side by side also with Howard Wildrick here. So real good battle going on here for these positions.
Oh, yeah, that 03 looking hungry. He's looking hungry, looking for a spot there. Look how low he goes down there in that turn there. I think he's ready to go 3 wide. Chuck, look at this. As the 34 has to cut down under the 24, and he regains the position there. Wow.
Yeah, a lot of racing going on right there. But Chuck now on that 24 machine up on that outside line. As Britton looks like he's having maybe a little trouble trying to hold it down there on that inside line. Scoops up in behind Garcia now as they sort of set those things out. So, you know, these guys are having a well of a battle out there. So, you know, in the meantime, that 0-3 of Turner has been able to get around the 7 of Howard Wildrick, move him up another position now. So that puts Turner up into 9th place. So this is a battle right now we're watching 6th through 10th. What an interesting battle it is.
It looks like 10th place and 11th place with 7 into 15 there, Howard Wildrick and Darren there. They kind of sit back and watching the action and seeing what's going to happen there. It looks like things are settling down. They're getting a single foul there. So, but that was exciting right there, I tell you.
Yeah, but the way these guys were moving, you would think it was the last 10 laps. They were running for the win. I tell you what, they put it all out there right now, trying to get the most out of their car they possibly can at this juncture. And as we watch all this going on, Kevin Kelly Jr., you know, sitting up there in 6th place, you know, he's got to be looking in the mirror going, oh, my goodness.
And how about that 32 there, the 12th place car there? He's we haven't talked much about Justin Barton there, but he's had a nice little quiet little the race there, and he's shown himself in the top 12 and looking very steady.
Yeah, Justin's one of those guys. We talked about him during pre-race. You know, he's up there in the points now. I think he's top 5, well, top 10 for sure. But Barton's one of those guys we've talked about and documented a few times. You know, he's definitely turned his season around so far this year and is having himself a real good season. Been kind of quiet throughout it, but then you look up and holy cow, there he is. You know, so he's definitely learned how to take care of his car this year. As looks like the 24 of Garcia is now looking to make a move up on the outside of the 87 of Kevin Kelly Jr. as they head off into 3 here. So it looks like Garcia is starting to enjoy that high line pretty good as they come off of 3 and 4 here. See if he's got enough momentum carrying it down that front stretch to be able to make the pass.
Yeah, most definitely. I tell you, they're keeping it exciting up there. And going back to the 32 there, Justin, you know, he did finish 4th here. Actually, I'm sorry, he finished 6th here last year and has only started Kentucky, and he is throwing in 4th place overall in the standings. So as you said, he's very steady, and he's looking very strong as we approach postseason here.
Yeah, and as we look up here, you know, battle going on. Looks like the 34 was able to get back around Chuck Garcia. As we look back up front, Jeremy Enix now is trying to make a move now on Lewis Bussa as he pulls down on his inside. They go down into turn 1 here. Looks like Jeremy is pouring on the coals right now, trying to get this car moving. So, but looks like Bussa may have almost got into the wall there for just a little bit, but he was definitely letting it hang out there. We got a fierce battle going here for the lead as the number 4 of Dennis Wright looks like he's looking on that high side. He may want to make this 3 wide before it's all over with.
Oh, these boys ain't playing up here, boy. I tell you, it's so exciting. And while we're talking about that, looks like going back to the Kevin Kelly there, looks like he's having some engine trouble there. He said he was heard him over the channel there saying he thinks it might blow up, so we'll keep an eye on him. But staying up front here, looks like they settle back down again. But I tell you, you can't blink an eye, you can't change, you can't go get some coffee or nothing to drink. You got to stay on it because these boys are racing.
Yeah, and looking right behind them there is these top 3 as they were fighting for that number 1 position there. That allowed the 16 of Brian Lee and also the 23 of Frankie Tomato to make up a little bit of time here too. So, you know, those guys are almost back up there able to sniff a whiff, so to speak, of that draft as they head down the back stretch. So, you know, these guys might be in the mix before it's all over with, but we got a definite 5-car breakaway right now with these 5 up front. But they've got a pretty big gap there from, the top 4 back to Kevin Kelly Jr. at about 4 seconds. So, you know, top 5, back to Kevin Kelly Jr. running in 6th there. But we talked about Kevin Kelly Jr. Having some engine trouble, sounds like. He may be starting to blow that thing up. So, unfortunate if that does happen for, Kevin Kelly Sr., as he's having some engine troubles. We talked about him a little bit earlier. But looks like Brian Lee is starting to work that inside line, looking to get away around Dennis Wright here. So, you know, very interesting racing going on all around as looks like Jeremy and Lewis Bussa have kind of settled things down here, and they started pulling away a little bit from 3rd place again.
Yeah, and as we say that, Ben Britton in the 34 car, he did get by Kevin Kelly Jr. there, and he's now in 6th place there. As he looks like he's going to pull away, or maybe Kevin can hold on to that draft, and maybe they can get up front there with the leader.
Yeah, and being told there, unfortunate, looks like, you know, that battle that we were watching there a little bit earlier, Garcia was in that mix. Being told he got a little sideways there, had to correct and bring that thing back to life, so to speak. But he slipped back quite a few positions, currently showing back in the 16th position there, running right behind Doc Stout, unfortunately. So Chuck's car got away from him there for just a moment or so, and looks like it cost him quite a few positions and quite a bit of track position as
he's now trying to work his way back into the top 15 again. Very, very unfortunate incident for Garcia in that 24. He's been having a good battle going up there as we were watching there a little bit earlier. Looks like he's moved way up on the high line. That car is it's looking very loose on him right now. It's looking real tail happy. So he may have to bring that thing down pit road before too long.
Yeah, I just heard in the channel there. Yeah, the car Garcia did take some damage there. He said his car and his ego were damaged.
Yeah, unfortunate incident for Chuck Garcia there. He was putting together a good run here at Kentucky tonight, up until that incident. But still plenty of time. Lucky enough, it happened early, midway point of the race. He's able to go and have a chance still to be able to make something up on that. But, as long as he can get in there and get that thing fixed and back out, good caution comes out. He's definitely in a catbird seat, so to speak, get that thing fixed, get back up there and fighting for positions.
Definitely. Hopefully he'll stay out there and fight through this because he's showing a ninth place in the chase, and he really needs to stay in here and fight like Kevin Kelly Sr., the 30 car. They're both right there showing in 15th and 16th. So those guys stay in there and endure this race. I know they got a good ways to go, but they endure it and they gain those valuable points.
Right. I'm kind of looking back through the field here just a little bit, but looking back at the 7th place position, we've been talking about him a lot tonight, but Kevin Kelly, but right behind him, that's Howard Wildrick in the number 7, while we had that battle for the lead going on, and the loose car with Chris Garcia. He's been able to get around both Darren Benz, Bruce Turner, and also Barton, and he's moved that car up into the 7th place position right now, following along behind the 87 machine of Kevin Kelly Jr. there. So he's definitely having himself a good run, starting to put it together here. It looks like the car is starting to come back in. But, as we cut away now, we're going to take a quick commercial break here. We got Louis Bussa up front, but we'll be back with live racing action here at Kentucky Speedway, presented by NuffWORLD TV in just a few moments. Stay tuned.
Link engaged.
Welcome to TeamSpeak, advanced voice communication software for any platform. TeamSpeak allows groups of people to communicate and share information with anyone via the internet or through private networks. Using your Windows, Mac or Linux-based computer, all you need is a headset with microphone, and in minutes you can be chatting with others in real time using our crystal clear voice technology. As a pioneer in the industry, TeamSpeak has become one of the most recognized brands in online gaming and voice-over-IP solutions. TeamSpeak features include a customizable toolbar, a clickable server icon and support for channel icons, custom graphics and VB code-enabled info panes, detailed user info and support for uploading avatars, firewall-friendly file transfer, tabbed public and private text chat with logging, custom skins, themes and sound packs, and much more.
I'm someone that's more than just a casual gamer. It's important to me to have fast, organized, quality voice comms. With TeamSpeak, I'm able to quickly customize user permissions and email a privilege key to an offline user. So the next time they log into the server, they'll be set up exactly how I want them to be. TeamSpeak also lets us do file transfers, assign player rank, insignia, upload avatars, or create custom skins. For me, there's no better choice out there than TeamSpeak.
TeamSpeak is free to use for non-commercial entities. Low-cost professional hosting is also available through our global network of authorized TeamSpeak host providers. For online gaming titles, social networks, government, military, or simulator projects, TeamSpeak also offers a software development kit. The TeamSpeak SDK allows developers to integrate our technology directly into their existing product or service. So no matter which game you're playing or with whom you wish to communicate, TeamSpeak has you covered. TeamSpeak. Flexible, powerful, crystal clear voice communication on any platform.
And welcome back live to Kentucky Speedway for tonight's running of the Your Name Here 400 here at Sparta, Kentucky, sponsored by NuffWORLD TV. Up front, we still got Lewis Bussa leading the way while we were away. A quick commercial break. Dennis Wright was able to get around Brian Lee to take over that third place position, so he's definitely still working his way up front, to working towards that front position. But, some of the guys, kind of looking back through here, Ed, you talked about soldiering on and stuff, throughout the night. Looking back here in some of the back area, some of those guys, soldiering on, so on and so forth. But looks like hearing Brian Lee had some trouble there.
Yeah, they're like he spun it there in a turn. He's down on the apron now, getting it straightened out there.
He may have had that same problem we talked about a little bit earlier. It's starting to get into those runs and such. Looks like he may have had a problem with that right rear going down on him. So, but who knows? I mean, it's hard to tell. Yeah, it looks like Brian took a pretty good lick up into that wall, too, after he spun it. So, unfortunate series of events happened there for Brian Lee, who'd been having a very good run all night long. So, unfortunate event.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he had a tire issue or he just got on that apron the wrong way. And while he was transitioning back up on the track, that's what got him loose and turned him around.
Yeah, kind of looking at it there when you brought up the replay, Steven, looks like he may have clipped the grass there a little bit. One of those things we talked about a little bit earlier, that grass is like driving on ice. Looks like he may have clipped it with that left front tire, and that may have been what caused him to go around.
I'll tell you, one racer that might be licking his chops right now is that's number 34, Ben Britton, sitting in 5th place right now. He's second, just 22 points behind Brian Lee in the standings there, so he may be licking his chops there. And Brian's got a tough road ahead of him there to get back up there, and we got to see what kind of damage he took.
That's true, Ed. I mean, that'll be a definite big break for Britton, who's currently running in 5th. So that's quite a few positions. He would be able to, or points. I'm sorry, he would be able to pick up on points leader Brian Lee there. So definitely a big hit if he isn't able to rebound on this. Looks like Britton would only be 12 points back, and Barton 85 points back as it stands right now.
Yeah, I'm hearing over the channels. It looked like there was something else that went on there in the backstretch around 3 there. We need them listening to the channel. See, it looks like we're going to keep it green, though, but I'll keep an ear out.
But, the points position there, that's going to be a big hit tonight for Brian Lee as it currently stands right now. So, looks like we also had a incident with a 37 there. Looks like he blew a tire coming out of turn 2 there. Looks like it was that right rear that we've been talking about. Just too much pressure on it and it popped. Unfortunate incident for the number 37 with Jimmy Leggio, who was putting together a pretty nice run tonight. He's not one of those guys we've talked much about, but he's one of those drivers that shows up here. He's not here weekly, but he comes out and has quite a few races with us. But unfortunate event for him tonight as he takes it back behind the garage, or behind the wall there, and puts it in the garage. So that'll add another one to our list of cars out tonight. So that attrition rate starting to take its toll now.
Yeah, that's disappointing finish there for the 37. But I'm glad to be along here. Like we said, we haven't seen him in a while, and so it's good to see him. And he has a pretty good race going there. Not to have been racing with us week in and week out. So welcome back, Jimbo.
That you are. But, we got a kind of a breaking action here, Will. Ed, we'll go back to, you kind of talked a little bit earlier before we got hyped up with all the great racing going on the track here, but sponsorship and stuff and how that helps NuffWORLD, you want to go back into that, how the guys want to get involved with NuffWORLD, how to go about that.
Oh, most definitely, yeah. Again, thanks again to all of those partners. We have so many really cool sponsors that help us with our fees and all. For the service, it's quite expensive here to try to put on a broadcast, and Nuff Radio has its own server, and there's some fees there, and our goal is to provide a positive environment for family-like atmosphere for numbers and their families to be able to race online and just compete, and not just racing, but Xbox gaming, basketball, NBA basketball. We do pretty much a lot here, and the sponsors really help us out with paying these annual bills here. Potomac ran that's Dr. Kenneth Wilson. He's out of Washington, D.C. He's one of our big sponsors there. He sponsored the Potomac 400 out of Dover not that long ago, and TV Creative Design, Team Sidious, who recently, Team Sidious is a baseball training camp, and actually had 3 players drafted in the 2013 MLB draft. So very honored to have those guys with us as well. And if anyone wants to jump in here and become a partner with NuffWorld, just go to NuffWORLD.com there. You'll see a feedback button there. You can click on that feedback button there and send out a message there to us there. And we also on Facebook. You can go to NuffWorld right there on Facebook, and you can contact us there as well. And we just appreciate each and every one of the sponsors there that help us. And it's funny, last year was our first year starting the broadcast, and we had 5 or 6 sponsors who we greatly appreciate. And we have 15 now, so it's really been a very positive and exciting year for us. And looks like every single chase race is already sponsored. So again, even if the races are locked up for this year, we're going to be starting early for 2014. So jump right on in there and be a part of the just a positive endeavor that we have here.
Right on that, Will. That's one of the things I've always, I can't stress enough, is the positive family attitude we try to keep over here. I mean, it's not just something that you can bring in. We talked about a little bit earlier, it's not just something that you bring in, for your older adult version, but we have a lot of guys around here, and not only just the racing league, but we have the Nuff NBA. We also have the Major League Baseball, hockey, so on and so forth. And there's quite a few guys here who, are under the age of 18, so we try to keep it as family-friendly as possible, and we got to say, we've seen a lot of these guys throughout the years, that we started to say to grow up here within our own league, so it's been a definite pleasurable experience.
Oh, I love it. And just, watch those kids that start with us around 12 years old, and now they're graduating from high school and college, and they have sent us letters, and even their parents have sent us letters, just thanking us for being a positive influence on their lives as we watch them, graduate and move on. So we're really proud of that. And by the way, there is a race link at the very bottom of the NuffWORLD.com page there. Again, that's another link there that you can go to indicate contact with us, and we'll be happy to and excited to get back with you.
Right, and that's one of the things. And like I say, keep the lights burning, so to speak. Sponsors, we can't thank them enough for what they do for us. As we try to do what we do out here, and also, to provide that family-friendly entertainment. But can't say enough. Thank yous to all the sponsors who've been with us not only last year but this year, just like we spoke about. But we'll get back to some green flag racing here. Looks like everything has fairly well, kind of stayed the same as Louis Bussa continues to lead the way, but the big factor there is the gap he's been able to put on Jeremy Enix. Enix now has fell to a little over 4 seconds behind him, running in that second place position, but not far behind him, Dennis Wright in that number 4 machine is still continuing to inch up through there, and looking not far behind the number 2 position. So as these guys are starting to make their way through traffic, Louis Bussa has really been able to pull away.
Oh yeah, definitely. Looks like the field really did spread out there. We did get a pass on the 32 car of Justin Martin, just moved into 8th place past the 87 of Kevin Kelly Jr. there, and there looks like the only 2 that are really close together are the top 10. Everyone else is pretty spread out and settled in.
Yeah, these guys are starting to spread things out here as we get this long green flag. As we're only about 10 laps or so away from starting to hit some of these green flag pit stops. So, you know, that's going to be an interesting fact that will play in here. You know, we talk about pit stops a lot of time. We saw, you know, Dennis Wright there a little bit earlier, you know, get caught speeding coming down pit road under that caution. But, you know, if that's one of the things that happens here, you know, you start getting down, you've been out here now for about 50 laps or so going around, you know, at high speed and trying to get down to 45 miles per hour, you know, and coming down that pit road and maintaining that speed the entire time. Seems like an eternity that you're driving down pit road. So that's going to, I see that's going to play some factors in. I really do believe by the time this is all over with, these pit road strategies, see how guys get on and off here.
Oh, no doubt about it there. And I'll tell you, one car we haven't talked about in a while there is, that's the 08 of Danny Gutierrez. He's sitting in 11th place there. Again, just another solid run for Danny. He's looks very calm and collected out there on the track. And sitting right comfy in 11th place. And you got Jerry Hinkle right behind him there in 12th, but a little bit of a gap between the two.
Yeah, Danny Gutierrez is definitely having himself a good run here tonight. He's been quiet so far tonight. Haven't really talked a whole lot about him, but he's been wheeling that machine around here, currently running in 11th place, you know, about 20 seconds or so off the lead. But, you know, Danny putting together a good, solid run tonight. Wouldn't surprise me to see him pop a top 10 out of here before it's all over with.
That would be awesome if he could. He finished 18th here last year, so I'm sure he's looking for a rebound from last year's race there. He's showing 6th place overall in the standings, so he's looking really solid there in the 11th place.
Yeah, and as we look up front there, the number 16 of Brian Lee was able to get back around Louis Busto, so that'll get him one of his laps back. So Brian Lee definitely starting to, you know, make his move, but you know, getting back up. But it's just to see how bad it hurt him. He's currently showing 3 laps down, you know, so that spin definitely put Brian Lee in a position he didn't want to be in currently. He's, you know, about 3 laps down, so he's got a lot of work still to go. And if this thing continues to stay green like that, it's going to be very hard for Lee to make up the 3 laps.
Yeah, most definitely there. How about the 23 car there, Frankie Samato, showing himself in 3rd place now as Darren Bench, who is the 15th car, he's sitting in 5th. And I tell you, Ben Britton, 4th place. It doesn't matter what race, what track, it doesn't matter. He's always up front, and he's showing himself comfortably in 4th place there, followed by the 15th car. But how about Frankie Samato in that 23?
Yeah, Frankie putting together a very good run out here tonight, currently running that 3rd place position. But, you know, he's having himself a good run, and, you know, he's definitely where he likes to be right now, so to speak, because, you know, he's got really no cars around him, because Frankie, as he talks about quite a few times, that magnet around his car, he's you know, doesn't want to be involved in anything else, you know, throughout this season, and try to finish off with the best possible positions that he can.
Definitely. And then I'll tell you, you talked about it earlier, the number 7 car, Howard Wodrick. He's shown himself in 9th place, and that's really cool to see that, because he suffered through a lot of technical difficulties early in the race there. He's looking pretty strong and steady now, so apparently they got it in there in the pits there, and did what they needed to do to get that thing nice and steady, and he's showing himself in 9th place, having a nice run.
Yeah, and kind of looking back through the field here a little bit, if you see up front, we're missing one of those cars we've been seeing all night. Dennis Wright has dropped back to the 15th place position. He's a lap down right now. So, you know, we talked about a little bit earlier, the short pit and pitting strategy and stuff starting to fall into. So, you know, it's looks like Dennis may have dropped into pits, dropped some fresh tires and some fuel, and starting to march his way back up through the field now. So, you know, some of these pit strategies are already starting to take effect.
Yeah, that's going to be quite interesting to see what these cars do out here with, you know, halfway through the race here. And looks like the cautions are at a minimum, which allows for a lot of long green flag runs. And I think the strategy is changing a little bit now, and cars are starting to compute, starting to calculate how many laps, how much fuel, how many laps they can go on those tires and so forth. So it's going to be quite interesting here coming as we move towards the second half of the race here.
And one of the things I want to keep an eye on as we continue to move throughout the race, the second half too, is we've documented it quite a few times already, but the track temperature has steadily climbed ever since we took the green flag. But looking at the track temperature now, it's starting to fall again. So, these cars are probably going to start going back the other way, so you might start seeing some guys complaining of the cars getting a little tight now, so it's going to be interesting. So we always talk about, you know, having to keep up with the track, as the track is starting to go through another transition now. And with the track going through, you know, some of that transition, as we talked about, the cars might start going the other way, so it's going to be interesting to see if these guys have to adjust on these cars anymore, you know, throughout this last 100 or so laps, as we're starting to wind things down here, as Lewis Butler just continues to just run away with things. So looks like we got the number 7, so heading down pit road himself of Howard Wildrick. So he's going to be the next guy coming in. You know, he's currently showing 1 lap down, as also the 48, Dominic Russo, I suppose, will be coming down pit road soon. So a lot of pit strategy starting to come into effect.
Yeah, Dom 48 did try to go in there, and but he missed the pits there, so he's back over the track there. So he's going to get himself back together and trying to come back around there. The next time around, he can't drop down there a little later this time.
Yeah, that's always got to be disheartening to anyone when you get ready to come down pit road like that and you miss it just by the smallest little bit, or figure out at the last second you're not going to be able to get down to speed in time, and then you got to get back up through the gearbox. So, you know, very interesting scenario, unfortunately, for LaRusso. You know, probably will lose a couple of positions out of that as he's coming down pit road now. And as we talk about Dominic LaRusso, you know, kind of goes to show what we talked about a little bit earlier. Wildrick is just coming out of pit road, as Dom's finally getting to head down pit road now. So that long 45 miles an hour down the long pit road just seems like an eternity. And like I say, pit road strategy here can be the thing that hurts or helps you.
I tell you, I realized in my short career racing online, again, just the family atmosphere is what gets me. But as far as being to be a part of these great races out here, I'm not the best in the world, but I've learned real quick. You can't make many mistakes out here. I'll tell you, you miss a third, you miss a pit, usually the 3rd or 4th spot, and a ton of seconds. So he's got a long way to go to get himself back, but there's still opportunities for him.
Right, and kind of looking back through the field here a little bit, back to 4th place here. Darren Bend has put that number 15 machine, has moved it up to 4th position now, so he's starting to move towards the front again, as he's been back there, you know, about 9th or 10th place, biggest most of the night. He's now moved up into the top 5, so Darren Bend is starting to put together a good run here in the latter part of this race. Good job to Ben, who's, you know, just out there and doing all he can with that car, who we documented had a few troubles with the car a little bit early in the race. But, you know, like I say, a lot of, about 100 laps to go here. So, you know, as we're counting down the laps now, Darren Benz, like I say, moving up into 4th place position. So he's been able to move himself up throughout the night, as a lot of these guys are now starting to, you know, come down pit road and start to see some of these strategies, you know, with Ben Britton, as we talked about earlier, with the point strategy, running right there in 5th place. So he's still holding on to that top 5 position and looking to have himself a good point tonight here. It looks like he'll close up as they run right now, about 10 more points on Brian Lee, who's our points leader. So in the last 2 races, if it stays as it is now, Ben Britton has been able to pick up about 20 points on our points leader. So good job, good night tonight for Ben Britton, holding on, you know, and suffering through, even though he took some early damage with that car. So he's definitely out there and trying to make the best with this car that he possibly can tonight.
Yeah, most definitely. I'll tell you, the 16 hasn't really gained any position since that earlier penalty that he had. Apparently the damage was a little too much, so he's doing a Kelly and a Chuck here, trying to fight through the race here. He's still showing 16th, which is where he was right after he recovered from that event, as he gets around Talks South. But he's showing himself in 16th, and looks like he's still going to stay in there, fight hard, and see if he can pick up a couple spots here.
Yeah, talking about one of the guys that spun out there a little bit earlier, well, almost spun it and kind of hurt his car and his ego, so to speak, as we heard on the radio. Chuck Garcia, he's been able to move that number 24 back up into 12th position right now. Still showing a, you know, he's showing a lap down as we speak right now, but I'm hearing on the radio, you know, some of these guys are starting to head down pit road, as Darren Benge, Jeremy Enix, Justin Barton, a few others are starting to head down pit road now, including Frankie Tomato. So a lot of these lead pack guys are starting to head down pit road. So we'll see how their strategies pan out and see if there's any adjustments to these cars.
Yeah, we see the 62 going in also. So in the pit road there, he's showing Fox Scout, another one of our impressive NuffWORLD rookies here in this season. And having a decent run, and, showing 15th, 14th. Main thing is he's still in the race. So I guess that just alone is a positive. So let's see what Doc can do and see if he can't get this thing in the top 10 as he gets some tires.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of these guys are starting to head down pit road now. It's starting to get really busy out there. I guess once the first couple of cars hit that pit road, then, it just kind of opened the floodgates, so to speak, as I've been told Ben Britton's starting to head down pit road also. And been hearing over the radio, Lewis Buster plans on coming in himself, so he's kind of looking at that and saying, okay, all these guys are starting to pit. It's about time for me to head down pit road maybe, and, we're about that pit window, so race leader Lewis Buster, as he peels off and heads down pit road, looks like he's going to give up the lead to Frankie Stamato, who may stay out there and try to lead a lap and get that all-inclusive bonus point we talked about.
Yeah, sir, he won't be long before he comes in as well, but again, just a very inspiring race for Frankie again with such bad luck, and I'm so happy to see him at this stage of the race. He's doing himself in first place there, and he's been riding out front pretty much the whole race there. So it's a really good race there by Frankie.
Yeah, Frankie has definitely been hanging in. There's a lot of guys out here tonight that are definitely hanging in who've, as we saw, talked about, had some of that early damage and early caution that came out. There's quite a few damaged cars out here that are still running, out there trying to make the most they possibly can out this night as these pit cycles are cycling through right now. We're showing 3 cars currently on the lead lap as Frankie Stamato is coming around to turn 2. I'm hearing on the radio he's going to be heading down pit road also as he pulls up behind Lewis Buster, and so that should give the lead. Looks like it'll give the lead back to Dennis Wright as it cycles through in that number 4 machine. So that should put Wright back up to the point. So it's going to be very interesting to see as he's currently showing about 23 seconds, but Lewis Buster, who just came out of pits, is only about 8 seconds behind Dennis Wright. So it's going to definitely cycle out to get very interesting here at the end.
Definitely. And going back to what you were saying about a lot of cars here just staying hanging tough in this race, I'm so proud of these guys for doing that. It's so easy when you're racing on a simulator here that just hit that escape button whenever, and just drop one out of the race and I don't know, go do whatever you're going to do. But these guys here, they stay in this race. Look at Big Mike Houston, the number 9 car showing himself in the top 20 now. There was a lot of damage that he took earlier. How about John Lawler in the 64 car showing in 20th place? Same thing, these guys, Charles Payne in the 61, these guys are in the back of the field, yet they're standing here and fighting. Kudos to those guys who are hanging tough.
Right, yeah, a lot of these guys, and like I say, that'll pay off big dividends when you come toward the end of the season and start getting the chase time. You leave a race early and, you lose 10, 15 points. That may be the big thing that keeps you out of the chase altogether, is one race that you exit early from.
It wasn't long that we had a season that came down to the last race. 3 cars just 1 point away from each other in the top 3 in the standings there as we went into that homestead race. That's just how important these points are.
Yeah, which goes to show also, not only staying out here, but also, leading that 1 lap or leading the most laps for bonus points. They come into such big place towards the end of the season. So, very important to stay out here, and like we saw Frankie Stamato do earlier, stay out and lead a lap or 2 just to get those points. So, very interesting, see how the year plays out if you don't stick around with these races.
Yep. And now you got the number 4 sitting out front there. That's Dennis Wright. Now he's gone in. Am I right, Juicy?
Yeah, he went in. He was one of the short pit strategies. He went in about 10 laps or so before all the other cars started peeling in. So he's on a different pit strategy than the rest of these guys right now. So he may be thinking something towards the end. As right now, even with the newer, fresher tires that Lewis Buster's got, he's only been able to. He's only about 2-3 tenths of a second, slower than what the leaders are. So even with the as Lewis Buster will say, who was leading here and been dominant so far this second part of the race, he's only about 2 tenths slower or so right now. So it's going to be able to stay out here, lead a few laps, quite a few, and then according to how the fuel strategy goes, he may only need just one more pit stop, and he may have been thinking that it may be a strategy play already by Dennis Wright.
Right you are, Deuce. I mean, you spoke about it earlier in the race when you talked about how the 4-car was charging through the field on when we finally did get a nice little green flag run there. It could be that he did a lot of, testing and getting himself together for this portion of the race, and I'll tell you, he may be somebody to deal with here with Bus and Enoch not that far behind him, but look out for the number 4.
Yeah, he was last year's race winner, so we definitely know he knows the strategy and he knows how to win here at Kentucky Speedway. So, bringing home the checkered flag last year and taking home that trophy as he's starting to close up on some lap traffic here now. So that might slow him up just a little bit, but that time by, looks like Busta was able to gain about 4/10 on him that time by. But, as they get through some of this lap traffic, get out into clean air once they can do it, looks like Dennis's car is staying pretty stable and pretty steady throughout the entire run. So, it might be a strategy play that he's put in place and plans on making it on only one more pit stop.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. And I tell you, our other winner here in Kentucky, we've run Kentucky in our series twice, and Jeremy Enix is our other winner. He's still showing himself solidly in 3rd place with a strong run as well. And it's going to, again, it's just going to be so interesting to see what everyone does when they go into the pits. Is anyone going to take 2 tires with 30 or 40 to go when they come around the last time, or what do you think?
Well, that kind of goes back. Steven spoke, a little bit about some of the keys to the race here tonight, but those track position. Now, Steven, I would go back to you on that one. If you're in a position that, you get a chance for that, would you take a 2-tire stop here to ensure that track position, or would you want to be definitely on 4 tires at all times here?
Well, ultimately, it's going to obviously play out as, is there 60 to go in your last pit stop, or is it, 30 or 20 to go in that last pit stop? That's where you guys are going to have to make your decision. If it's 60 to go, these guys are going to be taking 4 tires and still running. If it's 20 to go, it's definitely an opportunity to make up some track position, maybe 6 seconds out there on the track. I would definitely take the right side tires. The left side tires probably don't wear as much here, but it's a gamble.
Yeah, it kind of goes back to a little bit earlier during this year when Ben Bando came in ahead of Louis Busta, a couple of laps before, and Bando took 4 tires. And Busta only took 2. Busta was able to keep the lead and stay out in front, but those 2 tires weren't able to hang with the 4 tires. So it's going to be interesting to see if anybody tries the 2-tire strategy, which Lewis may already be thinking about with the fact that he stayed out longer than anybody on this last fuel run. So, he was the last car to pit out of the lead group, so he may be trying to make a strategy on possibly taking 2 himself later on.
Oh, you beat me to it, Deucey. I was trying to say the exact same thing. You're so right about that. And I tell you, Thursday night when we raced the Pure Sim, we had the same scenario, and quite a few cars tried the strategy of taking 2 cars. I was one of those. I started in 15th, but I had a really good car, no damage like today. And I got through, and we only had about half a fuel run to go. I went in and got 2 tires, but guess what? I didn't gain not 1 position on that. And so other cars were doing the same thing. So it'll be quite interesting to see what they do out here tonight.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting to see some of these strategies play out if it stays green like this. This is the point of the race where you really want to see it stay green and see how these guys' strategies plays off, and no cautions coming. So that's going to be make it really interesting here towards the end. But as we talk, Louis Busta is steadily still creeping up behind that number 4, Dennis Wright, who's our current leader. He's about a little over 3 seconds down to him right now. So Louis is definitely on the fresher tires and coming up, as well as Enix. But seems like the Enix car hasn't been able to, after this fuel strategy and pit road strategies, hasn't been, making up the kind of time on the leader that, Louis Busta has. As we show Jeremy Enix currently about 10.5 seconds back of the leader in 3rd place. So it may be something Jeremy may even be on a completely different strategy trying to save tires at this point. So, I'm sure there's a lot of different strategies that can play out with these guys right now on, these pit strategies, and hoping it goes green and stays with their pit strategy.
Most definitely. Knowing Jeremy, he's definitely got a plan there, I'll tell you. But I know one thing, on the restarts, on a few cautions that we've had here, he's been very, very quick early, and then he settles in. So I wonder if that's a situation. I doubt it, though, as smart as Jeremy is, but still, it could be that he built his setup for more of a short runs, and once we get into these long ones, he has to kind of settle in and look for that caution and bunch the field back together. It could be.
Yeah, and as we're looking back over here at Jeremy Enix, he's definitely not making the ground this time as he was the last couple of times that Louis Bussa has. But, you know, looking up front here at Dennis Wright, he's got a lot of lap cars right there in front of him. So, you know, he's starting to move into a position where he's going to have to be using a little bit of his tires, as he's got several cars around him making a pass right now on the 87 of Kevin Kelly Jr. So that'll drop Kevin Kelly a lap down now. But, you know, same thing, Bussa's coming up with much fresher tires, but it's going to be interesting to see if Bussa is able to get through this lap traffic the same way that Dennis Wright has been. So as you see, Bussa starting to come into the picture down there now. So it's very interesting to see as Howard Wildrick moves down and gives Louis Bussa a lot of room. But Bussa is definitely coming now. Looks like that lap traffic, Dennis Wright definitely had a little more trouble getting through than what Louis Bussa has.
Oh, yeah, you can't blame the 87 for fighting hard to keep that spot there, because it wouldn't be long. Yeah, he would have a lucky dog if he gets past here, but Justin Barton's right there in front of him. So Kelly is doing a good job there keeping the leader in front of him there. He's fighting hard, but that was also giving Louis Bussa a chance to get up there, and look what happened here. The Bussa man is now in first place. Wow.
Yeah, trying to fight with that 87 there. Dennis Wright was, you know, to get that lucky dog. He was, or keeping him in a lucky dog spot. He was Dennis Wright was trying that high side, and wow, Louis Bussa really just poured on the coals, dived underneath, and took it down there on the bottom of the track and moved himself right back up into the #1 position. So, you know, and I'm starting to think, I don't remember exactly what lap it was that Dennis Wright hit pit road on, but he's probably getting a lot of laps now on those tires. As you know, even Louis Bussa, it's been about 15 laps since he's hit pit road, so I know it's been quite a few, probably about 40 laps or so on those tires for Dennis Wright. So I'm sure those tires are starting to give up quite a bit on Wright.
Yeah, and the 87's got to fight even harder now, because now that Bussa's got clear passage to the 32 and Justin Barton. If he can get by Justin Barton, you know, that might be the that would put Justin in a lucky dog position. So Kelly's got to fight ahead of him here.
Yeah, that you're right about, Ed. I mean, these guys, you know, even if you are a lap down, you still got stuff to fight for here. Like you were talking about, you know, if Kevin Kelly can get up there and get in front of Justin Barton, and the caution were to come out, being that first car lap down, that could pay big dividends, you know, at the end of this race, being able to stay on the lead lap that way. Is looks like Dennis Wright is still having trouble with getting around that 87 car, so that leads me to believe those tires might be going away pretty heavy on that #4 machine.
Yeah, most definitely. I tell you, Kevin Kelly Jr. is showing off here. Another one of our impressive rookies, as he's showing himself in the top 10 position in 9th place in 87, just fighting hard with the leader, and you can't blame him, not one bit here. And you know, this is that time of the race there that you fight for every position and every opportunity there. So kudos to you, Kevin Kelly. You keep running.
Yeah, that's a definite. I mean, you got to fight, like you said, for every position out here, you know, because, you know, any little thing happens. As showing, looks like Brian Lee, I'm kind of looking at him back here. He's moved himself up to 14th position now, as Jeremy Enix has just gotten around him, you know. So, you know, this guy, he's one of those that we talked about early in the race, having a great run throughout that, and then had the one mishap. Looks like he spun it off the corner there, and he finds himself right now running 2 laps down back there in 14th position. So, you know, our chase leader right now, Brian Lee, not having the night he definitely anticipated for tonight.
Yeah, but as precious as those points are, as we said earlier, he picked up, you know, he was sitting in 16th place all that time. He picked up 2 points, and those are big points, and I say that because the 34 car of Van Britton is still showing so comfortably in 5th place, and you know, so he did pick up 2 points there, so those are 2 important points.
Yes, they are very important, and we've talked about it several times here on the broadcast. Like you said, the 2011 championship, you know, came down when Nick Timms won his championship. You know, he was, I mean, it came down, like you said, last race, 3 drivers, you know, 1 point apart, and pretty much it came down to whoever won that race, all because of those points, just like you said. So as we see Brian Lee heading down pit road now, so looks like he's coming in a little early, getting some fresh tires, you know, with his strategy.
Yeah, very, very interesting. I can't wait to see over these next 20 laps who's going to be going in, who's going to be staying out, who's getting tires, and, you know, it's going to be really, really interesting to see what happens here. And we got the 29 of Jeremy Enix still comfortably in third place there, sitting pretty solid. And again, he's a defending winner here. He won this thing back in 2011, so and his only start, or actually no, it was his second start here. So this is actually his third start today. But he's looking comfortable there. Again, I think he's looking for opportunity.
Yeah, but like I say, a lot of these guys out here, you know, those points will definitely pay off throughout the end of the year. But you know, needless to say, Louis Bussa up here steadily just moving on out. He's put about 3.3 seconds between him and Dennis Wright since making that pass now. So Wright, I would not be surprised to see him on pit road within the next 10 laps or so. So strategies are definitely starting to pan out quite differently here, as we talked about a little bit earlier. Brian Lee, you know, heading down pit road. So I wonder, venture to say, I don't know if he will have enough fuel to go the distance from this point, Stephen. You know, I think it was, what, 50 to 60 laps?
Yeah, we were talking about 60 laps. The short pit, you know, is about 45, something like that. But it looks like most of these guys aren't able to push the whole 60 laps. They're getting about 55 out of it. So we've been listening to the radio of Louis Bussa, and I think because they said that they were coming in around 234. So that gives him a good 30 laps, 30 plus laps left on the field run, but definitely not able to make it to full 60.
Yeah, so that might be something to do with the strategy that Dennis Wright is on right now. He may be trying to extend his car to about that same point, like you talked about, around 230, you know, and try to go the distance from there.
Yeah, I think it was the Michigan race, wasn't it, a couple weeks ago that Bussa had some strategy that kind of backfired on him a little bit. He took 2 tires, and Ben Bando won that race over in Michigan a couple weeks ago. So again, it's going to be very interesting. Will Bussa go for 2 tires here on a short pit with 30 or 40 laps to go, or will he take all 4, you know, kind of having a flashback of what happened in Michigan a couple weeks ago? You know, kind of going to be interesting to see.
Well, I think that now that you get the leader, Louis Bussa is the leader this time. I don't think he'll be taking the 2 tires. I think you're going to have to see Dennis Wright or Jeremy Enix, Darren Bennings. One of those guys is going to be the ones that are going to have to catch him. So they're the ones that are going to take the 2 tires and make up that 6 seconds on them if they can. But I don't expect Louis Bussa to take 2, excuse me.
Yeah, I tell you, you talk about Dennis Wright in the 4 car. He's still fighting with the 87 of Kevin Kelly Jr. I tell you, I bet you the check is in the mail that Bussa is going to be thanking Kevin Kelly for distracting the number 4 car, because Bussa just flew right by him, like out of nowhere. I bet you, I wouldn't be surprised. No, I wouldn't have seen him in the rear view the way he came through there. And Kevin Kelly still fighting hard with the 4 car right there behind him.
Yeah, that's got to be frustrating, you know, if you're Dennis Wright back there, you know, following behind that car. You know he's a lap down and you're running in second place, but you know, he's doing what he has to do. That 87 is, and unfortunately, you know, just that time of the race where the tires are worn, they're fairly well equal right now. You know, even though one may be in second and the other, you know, way back there in ninth place, but with the tires are the great equalizer. If you ain't got the tires to pass the guy, then there's nothing more you can say to it realistically. I mean, Kevin Kelly Jr. doing exactly what he's got to do. You know, he's just driving his car, staying on his line. But unfortunately, with those tires, what they are, you know, Dennis Wright is able to make the pass. And, you know, with all this going on, he just continues to fall a little further back to Louis Bussa, who's, you know, got those fresher tires and moving on alone.
Oh, yeah, Bussa, I'll tell you, he just went by the 12th car of Jerry Hinkle. Another solid run for Jerry, who I think took damage early, too, in the race. And it's just another one of those Iron Men that we have here in NuffWorld. So proud of these guys. And he's showing himself in a solid 12th place position right now.
Yeah, and I tell you, one of the cars, it's kind of surprising to me looking at the third place machine of Jeremy Enix. You know, he's currently being shown 11.4 seconds behind the leader, you know, in that 29 machine. But, you know, I'm really surprised because they pitted him and Louis Bussa about the same time. I was expecting to see Jeremy, making those moves kind of like what we talked about with Louis Bussa, but so far he hasn't even, at this point, maybe he's trying to take it easy or something to set up for a two-tire pit strategy, but, he's falling way behind at the moment behind Louis Bussa, and still, even at this point, has not been able to get himself up to Dennis Wright in that second-place machine yet.
No, he has not. And I'll tell you again, I was thinking about it earlier about just wondering as smart as Jeremy is. And I tell you, opportunity maybe is all he's looking for here. If a caution should happen to come out and bunch that field back together, as fast as he is early in the run, he might be right back in the mix. But you're right. Right now, he's pretty much settled in. He's not really gaining any positions or losing, which is a little bit of a surprise. But again, it could be that he set himself for shorter runs and, not expecting the long runs that we're seeing here at the end of the race.
Yeah, and you talk about, like I say, a lot of these guys, on different pit strategies. So, it's going to be interesting to see. And, if that caution does fly late in the race, that's going to be a whole game changer altogether, as these guys are, out here and so strung out, it's going to definitely change up things. And, if it falls within a certain time frame, like you said, Jeremy's got a very fast car right at the beginning. So, that might play out into his factor if a caution flag does fly. But, a lot of these other guys, it looks like they are definitely set up, such as Louis Bussa and Dennis Wright, as, looks like they were definitely set up for a bit of a longer run.
Yeah, and you look at this, and where you are about 50 laps left in this race, so I definitely would see, you'll start seeing them peel off now, because everybody can make it from here on fuel. This is the time that you'll see the short pit if they're going to be able to do it.
And you were just as you said that the 4-car does go in, I believe, and he's getting some tires right now and getting himself ready for this final run.
Yeah, and with the amount of time he's spending on pit road, he's definitely taking 4 tires. So he's going to have all 4 tires on that car. So he's got about a little over 40 laps to go on this on the race. So he's definitely making on fuel, and looks like he's stretched that fuel run out on that last one just a little bit. So it may be his strategy starting to play into effect now as he goes down on lap 217 with about 50 to go. So he's definitely going to be gamblers to make it to the end, I'm sure.
Yeah, to get your new top 10 order now with Dennis going in a little early there. You got Bussa leading with Jeremy in second place there. The 15 car showing himself in third place there. Nice solid run for him. And again, so happy and excited to see the 23 up in the top 5. Less than a half to go, and he's in fourth place there with the 34 car leading. Showing himself again solidly in fifth. Then you got from 6 to 7 there. You got from Chevy James, Albert Woodruff, and Danny Gutierrez now in the top 10.
Yeah, Danny Gutierrez out there, like you said, fighting through the night. Hasn't had the best car all night, has some damage and such, but showing right now in that 10th place position, should end up throughout the night, as this runs. I wouldn't be surprised to see him definitely finishing the top 10 here tonight. But, now we're going to see how the pit strategies are playing out as these guys are, Dennis Wright is now starting to move through the field pretty quick with those fresh tires, but he's got to make sure he doesn't get himself held up, kind of like what we saw earlier with that 87, as he was leading, and he's making moves all over the track right now, and we talked about it a little bit earlier, in the race, on fresh tires, Dennis Wright was able to make passes on the inside, the outside, wherever he seems to want, so, if his car's still handling that well, then, that may be a benefactor to him.
Oh, yeah, I think the car looks like he is. We got the Brian there, just turning there, 16 around.
Yeah, looks like we got the 16 around stacked up the whole field there. Oh, looks like the 64 and the 4 come together right there at the finish line. So a little bit of a bump, so that might be something. And now we got the caution out, so that's going to stack up the whole field. And the man that didn't want to see that was Dennis Wright in the number 4 machine. Currently being shown a lap down, the 4th car lap down, as a matter of fact. So he definitely did not want to see that.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hold on you there. This gets so exciting. And right before I'm thinking there, we saw Brian in that car around here. I think this is the second event. So again, it's going to bunch the field. And now we get to see what the 49 really has. Yeah,
it looks like Brian Lee may have had, had another tire go down on him the way that thing come around. So not really for sure, but a lot of these guys got tires going down tonight. So that's definitely playing in.
Yeah, looks like the 16 is going to have to pull it into the garage there. So again, that's actually going to drop them down. We still got about 20 cars on the track there, so that's going to drop them down to like, I don't know, 20th place. And I'll tell you, DB has got to be making those shots.
Yeah, this is the prime opportunity for Ben Britton to be able to make up a lot of points now with that far Brian Lee damage as heavy as it is and such. And he goes behind the wall because of this, which it looks like he will. You know, that's going to be a very unfortunate incident for Brian Lee, our points leader, but a very good pickup in, you know, that 34 Ben Britton. You know, he's back there, like you said, licking his chops. This is his chance to really make up the points that he needs to.
It's going to be a very exciting end of the race here. We got so many different scenarios going on. We got Buster. Buster's strong too early on. And I tell you, I know he's going to go in and make some adjustments to make sure that he competes well with Jeremy. And 15's right there. 23 and 34 right now showing in the top 5.
Yeah, it's like I say, though, going back to Dennis Wright and at number 4, you know, that definitely ruined the strategy he had going because, you know, he was looking to go to the end and, you know, of course, other cars in front of him were going to have to pit, but now he finds himself trapped a lap down and isn't in the lucky dog position, which we talked about a little bit earlier, that lucky dog fight. Justin Barton was able to stay in front of Kevin Kelly Jr., so Barton's going to be the lucky dog on this one, so, you know, that'll put him back on the lead lap here in 7th place, so Kevin Kelly will be trapped a lap down also.
There you go. And I tell you, Justin had to stay on it because Kevin was not letting up. He was coming, he was trying to get there, and Justin knew that. He couldn't sit back and try to save tires or whatever. He had to stay out there because you never know when that caution flag will fly, and he put himself in a good position.
Yeah, now the thing that's going to be interesting here is to see if Dennis Wright decides to stay out in that number 4 machine, you know, take the wave around. I mean, he's got fresh tires, but you know, how much damage did he receive when he got together with the 64 right there at the start-finish line? So, you know, it's going to be interesting to see if he decides to stay out here and try to make a run for it, even on, you know, tires about 10 laps older than what the leaders are going to have. And it looks like both Jeremy Enix and Louis Busta took 4 tires as well as Darren Benz. So it doesn't look like it's going to be a big change-up coming off the pit lane here as these guys, you know, continue. It looks like Ben Britton moved up 1 position over Frankie Samato, but that's the only real change in our top 5 there. So these guys, you know, definitely looks like everybody was taking 4 tires.
Yeah, it looks like it. And you got Bruce Turner and coming out in 6th place there. You got the 32 of Justin Barton, Kevin Kelly, the 87, and then the 7 of Howard Wildrick. And then the 4 car of D. Wright is still showing itself in 10th place there. But it's going to be very interesting to see what happens here as they come on out and get ready for the restart.
Yeah, Dennis, unfortunate chain of events there happened for Dennis Wright, of course. You know, he was on a strategy and had played his strategy, so to speak, and that caution came out, and that just, you know, ruins the strategy for him because, you know, he was looking for this thing to go green flag the rest of the way and finish this thing out as he had played the last pit stop he had planned to make, I'm sure, on that pit stop we saw with the less than 50 to go.
Most definitely not see it. Justin, after he's taken his lucky dog, he's gone on into the pits there.
Yeah, Justin's, you know, a lot of these guys, Justin Barton down pit road right now. We see, you know, Lawler, Garcia, which Garcia's hanging out. He's having himself a good run. He's recovered fairly nicely right now, running in the top 15, so he's been able to recover. And guy we haven't talked about a whole lot, we saw him in the shot there for just a second, running 16th, Kevin Kelly, who's just unfortunately had a miserable night getting caught up in that crash early, but has been able to continue, you know, to move forward in this race, currently shown in the 16th position, 6 laps down. But I'm sure, you know, just like you said, Iron Man, he's looking for those points that he's going to be able to get. He's picking up, you know, just like staying out there right now. Unfortunately, you know, Brian Lee having that trouble right there at the end. He's out of the race now, so that moves him up another position. So every one of those points valuable when you get to the end of the year.
So very valuable, and I tell you, the 30 we affectionately call him the specialist, because I guarantee you right now, even though he's dealing with an ugly car or a damaged car, I guarantee you every single time he goes into the pit, he's doing something. He's trying to figure out a way to get faster, so he goes on around and takes his lap.
Yeah, the lucky dog goes around, takes his lap, and looks like we talked about earlier, would he do it or not? Dennis Wright has taken that wave around. He's still out there, so you know, he's going to put himself back on the lead lap here I'm sure he's probably hoping now for another caution to get the car fixed and get some new tires to get on the equal footing with Louis Bussa and Jeremy Enix.
Very, very fortunate for the four car to be able to get himself back on the lead lap by taking that wave around. I'll tell you, if that caution had happened, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 laps later in the race there, he may not have been able to get this wave around, but he had just come out of the pits not that long ago, so he's feeling pretty confident that, and like, as you say, he may be looking for another caution. It is that time of the race now. It's going to get a little aggressive as they look like they're double filing up here.
Yeah, they're getting double file. Looks like we're going to get the restart just next time by as they come out of turn 2 right now and heading down the backstretch. Double files with Jeremy Enix up there on the outside line right there with Louis Bussa once again deciding to take that inside line. So it's going to kind of see too, Ed, like you talked about, with just about 30 laps or so here to go, 40 laps, excuse me. See how Jeremy Enix's car does, if he's made any changes to make it a better long run, or if it's still going to be a rocket out of this out of the restart.
I tell you what, it's getting ready to get exciting here, and then I tell you, I think I'm sure everybody has enough fuel to finish there. It's all about the tires. Are you going to, use them up early in these first 20 laps there, and try to get what you can get for the next caution, or are you looking for the long run and going to try to save them for a dash at the end?
Yep, and we got the green flag right there, so we're coming to the start-finish line here. Looks like Louis Bussa got good, so looks like, Darren Binge, that's in third place right there, number 15, going to be able to go ahead and clear Jeremy Enix here going down into turn 1, so that'll move Darren Binge up a position. Jeremy Enix now, so looks like we got somebody spinning back there, a lot of smoke back there coming out of turn 2. Not sure what happened there, but looks like the 08 car may have been involved in that one, as we should have a caution here on this one.
Oh, yeah, we had cars all over the place. We got the 62 involved, Doc Scout, we got there, Gutierrez, the 8 car was involved in that, and Big Mike, another Iron Man car. Big Mike,
yeah, it looks like, from what I can see there, I mean, wow, the number 08 of Danny Gutierrez has been having not the best night of his life, but look at this. It looks like he just completely got kick-bumped after turn 12 and rolled that car. Oh, my goodness. Wow, talk about a hard lift. Danny done about 3 flips, it looks like, right there rolling over. Man, talk about a bad night going worse. I mean, God, well, he looks like him himself, but he's racing very hard. Having a very nice up there job of the 48 gets through there. Doc Stout was the one that ended up getting into Gutierrez after he got turned sideways and turned him over a few times.
Oh, man. Well, stick your hand out.
Yeah, unfortunately, against Gutierrez, who's been having a pretty decent run, running up there just outside the top 10. As we talked about, you talked about it a little bit earlier, Ed, it's time now to race that, these guys are going to start putting it all out there. It's time to make sure, see what these cars got, and fight for every position you can possibly get.
Oh, definitely looks like the 62 of Doc is, about 20 has that tire there, but it looks like it was just a bunch of smoke. But I would notice that he was staying out instead of going in when he shouldn't be going in. He didn't want to take a penalty as we get to the end of the race here. He was just going to go around with the field and go in, with the lap down cars there. So, but it looks like he's okay. It's just a whole lot of smoke earlier on.
Yeah, and I got to kind of wonder about the aerodynamics and drivability of that 08 machine now as we kind of look at it coming down pit road. It looks like that roof is, the A-frame's caved in quite a bit there, so it's going to be kind of hard to see out of that windshield, I do believe.
I tell you. But he's putting it back out.
And
I'm jealous.
In this broadcasting, it's the first time we've seen an accident like that take place here during broadcasting. But wow, that was a hard lick. Talk about wrong place at the wrong time for Danny Gutierrez. He really took a tumble there. But I'm surprised, to be honest with you, that the car's still able to go.
I'll tell you, I'm jealous. I'm telling you, because I took a little bit of damage early on. Okay, I took a lot of damage. But I ended up sitting up here in the booth with you, and it's a pleasure and an honor, and I appreciate you guys having me up here. But I'll tell you right now, I'd rather be out there racing. So I'm happy to see the 08 is recovered from the 10. I'm giving him a 10 on that triple somersault, and he's back out on the track.
Yeah, and I tell you, we talk about one of the benefactors we talked about too. We spoke a little bit earlier about Dennis Wright staying out and taking that lucky dog. Well, now he finds himself back, up there with the guys. He's on the lead lap now, currently shown in 8th place position. So that was definitely something, Dennis Wright was hoping for, so gets him back up there where he needs to be. And we'll see, it don't look like he's got a whole lot of damage to that car just by kind of looking at the rear end of it. So he may still have something to say here before it's all over with.
There you go, right back in position with opportunity. And I tell you, Ben Britton is showing himself now in 3rd place. That's 2 more points. If he can hold on to that, who knows? He may be trying to post his first win of the season there. I wouldn't be surprised to see him up front there, but it's getting ready to get exciting. I don't think we're done with the cautions because the racing has been so strong and so good early on, and now it's everybody's going to let it hang out.
Yep, and just kind of looking right there beside Lewis Butts to talk about quiet and moving through the field. Look at that, the 15 of Darren Bench running in 2nd right now. So he's definitely been sneaking and creeping, so to speak, getting up through the field tonight.
I'm not even surprised. How about that 23 still showing in the top 5? So happy again for the 23 as he's lined up on the outside there in the 2nd row right behind the 15 car on the outside line.
Yeah, and go back to what you were talking about a lot earlier when we were following the whole Dennis Wright and Lewis Butts story as things were starting to unfold about being at the right place at the right time, and getting that lucky dog fighting your way through. That 87 of Kevin Kelly Jr. now finds himself with that caution being back on the lead lap in that lucky dog position. So move Kevin Kelly Jr. up into the 9th place position, fighting for a great position here, still on the lead lap.
I tell you what, an impressive driver 87 is, coming in here, such a young kid, and just coming here, teaching us old folks a lesson on how to race these cars and how to do it in a respectful way, in a courteous way, and still show himself a good finish. I'm courteous and respectful and all of that, but I'm always 15th and 20th. This guy knows how to be respectful and courteous and still finish in the top 10. Very proud of him.
Yeah, looks like we got the 61 of Charles Payne got caught speeding on pit road during that exchange, so it's going to give him a longest line penalty as he moves back to the end of the field. So as we just got the 1 to green there, 1 to go till green as we're coming out of turn 2, pace car has him here, so we head down the back stretch. Everybody's getting double file now. So get ready to go back to green flag racing, so it's going to get real interesting, just like you said, Ed. It's not over with yet.
No, it's not over. And speaking of the 61, again, another one of our Nuffers who just stays out here and fights. Our 2009 Rookie of the Year, Charles Payne, the 61 car. Very proud, happy to see him as well as he's coming back from back injury he had last year. And he's coming back this year after a year layoff. We're happy to see him out here in another one of those endurance Ironman races that we have here in NuffWorld.
And going back to that 61, Charles Payne, he's not only a great racer, great to be with here on the track, but, a great individual even off the track. I know this year, kind of throw a shout out to him. My birthday this year, he sent me a wonderful present I'll cherish and hold on to for the rest of my life.
Oh, so awesome. It's taking great here. Blake Wessler is getting a lot of pressure from BB on the inside. Take it away, dude.
Yeah, looks like BB was getting, Ben Britton was getting a good push there. He wasn't getting started. Ben Britton was going to make sure he got started one way or the other. As Britton now looking down on the inside of the 15 machine of Darren Benz there. They come off side by side in the back stretch, but then Ben they pull away from 44 right back in behind him as Jeremy Enoch is still working in 4th place underneath Frankie Samato going into turn 3 here. So it looks like we're off to a good start here for the last 2 laps. They're left here. Got about 40-some laps to go. So Dennis Wright now moves himself up into 6th position. He's already picked up 2 more positions right there. Looks like we got a spin right there. Looks like Frankie Samato involved, unfortunately.
No, yeah.
So there goes, we talked about Frankie as the caution comes out.
Oh, Frankie, and I tell you, they were about to go 3 wide there. Frankie was right through get ready to thread a needle there and got a little loose. Oh, man, because that was so exciting. It was really good, hard racing there. And it's to be expected at this time of the race there.
Yeah, unfortunate incident for Frankie. Here we were just talking about him a little bit earlier, that unfortunate magnet he has to the car. We thought he'd actually, might have gotten rid of that thing. He's going to, bring it home to be able to fight for a top 3 tonight. But unfortunately for Frankie, that'll put him back there. Serious damage on this 23 machine, unfortunately. Looks like they were 3 wide coming down across the first finish right there. As they got down there, it looks like he had some contact with the 34 machine there. I don't know exactly what caused him to get completely sideways. Frankie, unfortunately, comes up the track a little bit. Looks like the 34 and him come together, and that puts him right up in the wall. But looking right behind him, oh my goodness, as he comes back down the track and knocks him down. Oh, T-bones him hard right there at the coming off down to the apron.
Oh, yeah. And I tell you, a lot of cars did a really good job getting around that. I can hear it on the channel that Kevin Kelly barely got around it or got close to it. You might be able to take a look at that. But
yeah, some of the other close ones there. It looked like Chuck Garcia just squeaked through the 48 of Dominic Caruso, and looking just as that unfolded right behind them, the number 4 of Dennis Wright, who we talked about trying to get up there and get back up in the contention for his win. He's one of the guys right behind him, had to make a quick move to the left. I'm sure he missed that whole thing unfolding right in front of him.
Oh man, I thought they were going to get through cleanly because it was forming, it was like a storm. You could see it forming, and you could see the 23 cars get ready to thread the needle. And I tell you, I thought that they were going to hold it down, but all they did, and that's all it takes when you're going this fast, slightest touch, and that slight touch got the 23 a little loose there, and he turned around, and that was it.
Yeah, and then we talk about, we go back to, I'm sitting here looking at my monitors right now, Ed, but talk about fighting for lucky dog positions a little bit earlier. Kevin Kelly finds himself, after that incident, in second place.
Second place, wow.
So that young man definitely having the ride of his career here so far tonight in his rookie season over here in NuffWorld. Louis Bussa decided to go into pit, as well as did Darian Binge and a few others. So, a lot of these guys, they're going to have about 10 laps or so, maybe fresher tires on the 2 in front. But let's see how these guys now. Kevin Kelly Jr. has been having himself a great run all night. Let's see how he holds on with these guys, these hungry guys behind him.
I tell you, and look who's sitting out front now. The 29 car. Jeremy stayed out on that. At least so far, he stayed out. And with him and Junior, they're going to be leading us off in the front row. It depends. Oh, another very interesting thing here. Will Jeremy start on the inside or the outside? Because look who's in third place there. Very interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. You got Louis Bussa now back there in third place, so it's definitely going to make things interesting on which line Jeremy will take. So, got Dennis Wright. He's back up into the top 5. Went in and got some tires that time, and that wave around definitely paid off for Dennis Wright. After his whole strategy got thrown out the window with that one caution. Now he's back out there. He's going to have fresh tires. I'm sure he got that damage repaired and maybe even made a couple of adjustments as the track temperature has dropped some more since we were talking about it a little bit earlier. It had steadily climbed all the way up to about lap 180, and now the temperature on this track is starting to go down. So some of these cars might start tightening up now.
Look, I wouldn't be surprised to see Jeremy take that inside lane because, as you said, I tell you that his top competitors, at least up to this point in the race, from what I've seen and the way you've so impressively reported, Louis Bussa, the number 3 car, and the 4 car Wright are the cars to beat here, and they're both starting on the inside lane. So if Jeremy goes to the outside, he may be opening the window for the 2 cars that I see as his top competitors as being, the top cars to beat. As I do see now that Dennis does move to 6th place, or no, he's in 5th place there. So that inside lane is going to be very interesting here.
Right, and yeah, you talk about the 2 dominant cars tonight. So far, Louis Bussa has led 155 laps, and Dennis Wright has led 64. So they've definitely been the dominant 2 cars. Everybody else has led been single-digit numbers. So those are the 2 to beat right now. So, and then here's Jeremy, got both of those cars lined up right there, right behind him. So it's going to get real interesting. He has got to get a good restart here.
Yeah, and I'm not surprised at all to see Jeremy on that inside lane. And here's an opportunity for Kelly Jr. to really do something good here, because I tell you, those 3rd and 5th place cars are going to fight hard as we go green here. Let's see what happens to 87.
Yeah, they got the green flag there as they head off into the front stretch. These cars moving down over here. 87 moving down into that inside line. Louis Bussa moves on up to 2nd, but you got Dennis Wright challenging heavily on Kevin Kelly Jr. there as he makes a move down onto the inside. Looks like he's going to try to take away that 3rd place position, but the 03 of Dennis Turner, he is really pushing the 4 Dennis Wright down into turn 3 there, as they really have a head of steam coming in there as Jeremy Enix has moved up to that 2nd lane right now. And it looks like Dennis Wright's going to move into 3rd here. So we're going to settle ourselves out here in just a couple of seconds and start looking for a win here pretty soon.
Oh boy, it's getting good. It's getting good. And how about the 03 car, Bruce Turner, in 5th place now, showing himself. Oh, he just moved himself, edging by the 15 car, and he's now in 4th place on the inside lane and moving up even more.
Yeah, he looks like he's wanting to make a move on Dennis Wright to move up into 3rd place here pretty soon. As you see, these guys are really starting to use those cars up. They are giving everything they got now. We're going to see what these cars have got. Yes, he did. He shut that door quick. But I'm looking up there front. Jeremy seems like, he's pulled out a little bit from Lewis Buster there. And Buster's trying to get back to his bumper to make a move on. But they're starting to pull away, too, also from that number 4 car. They're starting to all separate themselves a little bit now. Starting to, settle in, so to speak. They've used the tires up, so to speak, for about a lap or so. Now they're going to start settling in and try to make that last dash.
I tell you what, I bet you the 3 car is hoping that this race stays green. I bet you if it does, that he's got a better car. I think I think so. And Jeremy would not be all that upset if a caution keeps coming out there and he keeps staying out front with those short runs.
Yeah, that could definitely play into the favor of Jeremy Enix. He seems like he's got these restarts really nailed down. So, he's been able to get out of the blocks and get going there right off the bat when you come to those restarts. But, like I said, less than 30 to go here. So, a lot of races still to go. These guys are going to be pouring it on now.
Yes, they are. And I tell you, we got 2 of the 3 cars up front are defending winners here. And the one that hasn't won yet is Lewis Buster showing himself out front. So, very, very exciting racing here at the end.
Yeah, I'll tell you, the surprise to me right there is that 03 of Bruce Turner. We haven't talked about him a whole lot today being up there in the front, but right now we got a 4-car breakaway from the rest of the field, and, Bruce Turner has been able to maintain pace here for these 4 or 5 laps since the restart, so he may have something to say before this is all over with, as he's having a real good run right now, bucking it down on that inside line and holding the bottom really well.
Sitting back waiting for opportunity, I bet, and I wouldn't be surprised either if he maybe threw a little bit of growth, a little bit of safety on, or added a little half pound here or there on the tires to get a little bit faster. Don't have that much further to go, but he's kept that car clean pretty much. I don't recall them being in too much across the race there, and he set himself up very nicely to have a strong finish here.
One of the things I'm watching too here is they're going through the corners. It seems like every single one of those cars has a completely different line they like to run right now. So it'll be interesting to see which one ends up paying out the best. As Lewis Buster seems like he's getting really loose coming out of turn 2 there right now. So he may have to let that car settle in a few more laps before he can really.
Exactly. I wonder if he's getting himself a little concerned with the lap winding down here. I know he knows that Jeremy has a strong short car. He doesn't want Jeremy to get too far ahead of him there. As he does get at the top of the for an exciting finish.
Yeah, we got the top 4 cars all within half a second of each other right now. So these guys are definitely running. Dennis Wright is way up on his high line. He's getting a good run off these corners down the 2. So he's able to close up and then lose a little bit down the corner. So I don't know if aerodynamics from that little incident is starting to pay some on him, but he's definitely, has different lines. He's down in the bottom on the 2 and then up high on 3 and 4. So he's trying to make that car work as best as he can, find a place that he can. But looking here on the right side, looks like we got a battle for 6th place between Kevin Kelly Jr. and someone we haven't talked a whole lot about here is Nick Sims, Ben Britton trying to get back up to the field. So, these guys definitely Britton trying to get the very best he can out of it tonight, especially with Lee being behind the wall now.
Oh, yeah. And again, you see Powers get the 7 cars showing us up 8th place there. Where's off 32 of Justin Barton. Again, just another impressive race from the kids from Richmond there.
Yeah, and it looks like the 03 is down on the bottom alongside the 4 there. We got a battle, looks like shaping up for the lead here also. We got first and second battle and 3rd and 4th. So it's really interesting. It's Bruce Wright and 4 cars up on the outside. The 03 of Bruce Turner down on the inside as they go into turn 1 and 2. Looks like Turner may clear him right here coming off the 2 and start looking towards making a run, to that 2nd place between the Lewis Buster.
Wow, exciting. Got by the 87 Kevin Kelly. He's now in 6th place there. Passing on the outside there and getting his eye 15 car in his top 5 place.
Yeah, that 34 of Ben Britton, he knows this is his chance to really make up every single point that he possibly can on Brian Lee, our points leader. So, you know, this could be a whole different ball game in the points championship before this night's all over with, as Britton is continuing to move forward, you know, move himself up into the sixth. So, you know, he's looking to try to make all the points he can tonight and edge that draft even closer as we come into the night 22 points down. You know, this is going to be a big night for him. As we got a pass for the lead here, looks like the 29 and the 3 is starting to touch a little bit there. It's getting a little dicey between these guys.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, Lewis Buster giving it all he can to get that pass made, and Jeremy's doing everything he can to keep that position. So these guys, as all that allowed to happen there on the front stretch, allowed the 0-3 and Dennis Wright at number 4 to close up a little bit more. So this is going to get real interesting before it's all over with. As Lewis Buster pulling up on the back bumper once again, he's on Jeremy, and looks like he's going to try to dive on the inside here, coming to the travel and try to make the pass. What's some exciting racing we got going on out here right now? Jeremy Munich fighting hard, number 29 up on the outside line there as he swings down the point. But looks like they touched once again right there. Yeah, it's got to be an interesting spot to be sitting in right there where Bruce Curtis at, though. See all this stuff going on and try to figure out how you're going to get it around. Oh, we got a car around. Looks like the 03 of Bruce Turner has spun.
Oh, he's on the side there in the back of the
looks like we got a caution out now. Oh, my goodness. Talking about some good racing going on. And Ben was able to get around the 4 of Wright whenever Wright picked up for that spin by the 03.
Wow.
I couldn't really tell. Was there any contact there between the 4 and the 03, or did he just lose it? I couldn't really tell.
No, I'm looking forward to seeing the replay there. It looks like he just lost it on his own, but I'm loving the worries. I was running real strong and I like that for about 4 or 5 laps, 86, running in third place early in the race, and all of a sudden, that was like a image of what happened to me. The back end kind of burned out on him, and looks like the same thing happened here before.
Yeah, it looks like from this angle, the 4 was just coming up behind him, and the 3 got completely sideways. They was a touch there, but the 3 was sideways before the 4 even got there. The 4 realistically trying to make all the move he could to get out of the way, but nowhere to go with this.
Wow, that's unfortunate. Hopefully it didn't too much damage. Like they heard something about it, but I'll tell you that Brent right back into the top 5, and Kevin Kelly.
Looking at the way that went down, though, kind of makes me wonder if maybe the 03 wasn't pushing that car a little bit too tough right now. Heated up those that right rear tire, and just, you know, once he got greasy, he kind of went around on him.
You know, he took 4 or 5 laps, and I'm telling you, it feels like I'm reliving what exactly happened with me. I was running nice and strong and comfortable after about 4 or 5 laps, and apparently, you know, got a little greasy running going in that back right rear and came on around.
Wow, so that's going to pick that top 5 up once again. As it looks like everyone is heading down pit road once again. These guys to get some fresh tires on those cars. Maybe they saw what just happened and decided, hey, and of course our top two, Jeremy Edick and Lewis Buster, you know, of course they're coming in. Those two have been fighting tooth and nail for that win right now.
I bet you're going to see an adjustment from the 3 car.
I would say you're probably right, Ed.
Because Jeremy is quick. He's quick, and the 3 car is going to have to do a little something, I think, to get on around him. He fought him, and he's following it, looks like.
Looks like the 29 beat the 3 out.
Yes, he did. So. Wow. But the 32 stayed out so far. I mean, what do you think? Is he going to try to stay out here? He's showing himself out first, or is he trying to get him a point?
I think he actually went in and only changed 2 tires and got back out ahead of those guys. I've noticed my blip went by just before we started paying attention. So as Martin catches the field, there's cars in front of him. So he must have only took 2 tires on that. A heck of a gamble on Justin Martin.
Excuse me then, number 32.
Yeah, we're trying to, he took 2 tires on that pit stop. So he's playing a little strategy here and putting himself in the mix. Wow, I'm speechless on it. It's a real surprise to me. We got about 15 laps left here, so we'll see if two tires can hold off. Of course, I don't think Barden had very many laps on those tires on the left side, so it'll be interesting to see how this one pays off for young Justin Barden.
So we saw some really good racing there, and it seemed like it was racing for a long time. I don't think we got more than, 8-10 laps in that run. So it's going to be very interesting to see if Justin's got enough to cover these last 15 laps.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, especially with those cars behind him, Enix, and it's going to be interesting to see because according to which lane Barden decides to take on this restart, he's going to have either Enix or Bussa behind him. So, you know, according to which lane he takes, he's going to have some push, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah, we definitely got the 32 and the 29 leading us off there, and we're prepared to go green here for these 15 laps. We got the second row, we got Bussa and Dennis Wright sharing the second row there. D. Wright will be restarting on the outside, and then in 5th and 6th and the third row there we'll have the 15 car. That's how you showing out, and the 87. They're going to be in that third row, and then starting in 7th we'll have the 23 car, Frankie Samato. Good to see him recovering from the wreck there that he had. He still got himself a pretty good top 10 finish in store for him if he can hang on. And the 7 car will be starting alongside of him in 8th place. Howard Wildrick again recovers from all those technical difficulties. It looks like we're about to go green here. It looks like they're doubling up.
Yeah, they're doubling up. We've sent the lucky dog
around.
around, so we've got the one to go as we're heading off into turn 1 here. So it's going to be interesting to see how this one plays out. You know, with Barden standing out there on those 2 tires, kind of a risky decision, so to speak, at this point of the race, especially with seeing what some of these guys have under the hood and what those cars have been running like. So, you know, it's going to get real interesting. And like you talked about, Ed, Jeremy Enix, we know that 29 machine has that rocket on a short run. So he's going to be down there on the inside with Louis Bussa right behind him. So, you know, the one on the outside there, Smoke, Dennis Wright, that number 4 machine. So it's going to get real interesting here. I can see it getting interesting.
Well, I bet you the kid from Richmond has got his heart pounding a little bit. I know I would have my heart pounding, you know, be up front with all of these big-time rollers up here, and he is in a really good position here. So looking forward to seeing what happens here.
Yeah, Justin Barden in the pilot seat, that number 32, like you spoke about a little bit earlier, Ed. You know, some of our guys just graduating. He just graduated high school a couple of days ago. Now, here he is up here in the number 1 position. You know, the palms are sweaty and the heart's beating out of his chest right now. He's thinking about everything.
Look, I'm about 90 years old and my heart beats. I know his heart is beating. Get ready to go green here.
Yeah, as they're coming out of turn 4 here, be getting the green flag momentarily. There's the green flag, and here we go up through the gearbox. We'll see how these guys turn out. And it looks like Jeremy Enix got a real good start there. It looks like Barden up on that outside. So, you know, they're side by side. Looks like Dennis Wright will make it 3 wide. Try to going into the corner here. So, in turn 1, we 3 wide here, and Jeremy Enix has got the lead and moving away with it. But Dennis Wright out on that outside, and Louis Bussa down on the inside. So, looks like Dennis Wright will move up in the second. But we'll see how this one pans out as he goes to the high side. He's challenging Jeremy Enix for the lead here.
Oh, what a great restart there. I tell you, I'm surprised to see Justin start on the outside, but they got through that 3 wide nice and clean, and it's a dogfight up front.
Yeah, it is, and here comes Dennis Wright. He's moving down on the inside, trying to take that position away from Jeremy Enix, and Louis Bussa looking to the inside of him, too. So these guys are a nice job about making it 3 wide at this stage of the race. They're definitely putting all they got left into this. As Darren Benz is moving down to the inside, he's around the 32 right now. You know, to try to make a position on him, too.
Right behind him. He wants that top 5 really bad there. He's fighting hard to go, but want to get some easy.
Yeah, Louis Bussa's down on the inside of Dennis Wright now, moves himself back into the second place position. So, you know, a lot of fighting going on up here as Dennis Wright's moving up to that high side. He's making the high side work for him. He gets off turn 2, gets into the wall there just a little bit. So, may have overdrove that corner just a touch.
So, what are we going to have here? We're going to have a 2-time winner, or we're going to have 3 cars here with one winning to get down here to the 10 to go?
Yeah, with 10 to go, I still say at this point in the race, it's anybody's fight, because I tell you what, those top 3 cars up there with Jeremy Enix, Louis Bussa, and Dennis Wright, ain't nobody giving an inch right now, that's for sure. We talked about
little Nick off the wall there. He did lose some ground, but if he can stay to that in that draft a little bit at least front stretch there, and while these guys race each other, he may find himself back in position to do something.
Yeah, exactly. And like you talked about, we saw a little bit earlier, you know, if Lewis Buckle does get there, it's not going to be an easy pass. Jeremy is doing all he can to keep that 29 machine up front. So, confidence is all over with. Lewis Buckle gets into the wall there, coming off of turn 2, beats it down a little bit. So, these guys are definitely showing they're using all they got right now.
Oh, they tried that hard. I'll tell you, that was surprising to me that they'll have a 4-car dash beat turn 15 versus right there with those leaders. When they get side by side, when they start making part of these turns, the 4 and the 15 will be right there to make ice.
Yeah, those two guys may be in the catbird seat right now, Darren Benz and Dennis Wright, with these two running up front. If they start touching and racing like they were a little bit earlier, or even one of them gets the slightest bit sideways, they're in a perfect position to take that win home tonight.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Finding on down here, boy. And I'll tell you what, it's not giving Jeremy a hit. Jeremy makes one mistake, but make it. And Jeremy's been around the block a little bit. He's been champion here. He aimed to that championship, and he's not going to make it easy for us at all. But he's going to have to, not depending on a mistake here, but he's going to have to find his way around that piece of 29.
Yeah, and I'm kind of watching that 29 car right now. Now, he ran quite a few laps, Jeremy did, right behind that number 3 of Lewis Buster, early in this race. And so he knows what line he likes to run right now with 5 to go. So he knows where Buster's going to try to take that car. And he's adjusting his line and driving out that back mirror right now just as much as he is the front, trying to keep Buster behind him.
Yeah, looks like Buster's trying to get him on the inside. I think he's testing the corners there. He's looking. I know he only has 4 or 5 laps here to go. Coming on 4 to go here. And I think he's testing the corners there, getting himself ready for his last race. Looks like he's coming up side by side on the outside of Jeremy.
Yeah, looks like he came up, got about the quarter panel there, and then had to kind of lay out of it. Just didn't have enough as to get down into turn 1 here. So these two are really slugging it out here. Buster is trying that outside line now to move up. If he gets into the wall one more time there, he seems to be really loose and using that car up coming out of turn 2. But Jeremy, once again, like we talked about, got that rocket on the short run. So it may be what pays off here at the end for Jeremy Enix before it's over.
Oh, I've been great on staying in the trying to race, trying to get all he can get so he can get that momentum to get around the 29 car. And that 4 car, look at that number 4 car, lurking.
Yeah, it looked like Lewis Buster right there getting down in the corner. May have got just a little bit sideways, too, and had to back out of the throttle there also. So, that car, it might be starting to heat those right rears up, as we saw from Bruce Turner there a little bit earlier. So, these guys are definitely using those cars up as that 4 car, Dennis Wright, is starting to creep back into the picture, just like you said.
Should go at the line here, and I tell you, boy, Buster's got to be standing on it. He's looking for an opportunity here. The 29 is just not. Look at this. The 29 is just not going to give him anything.
Yeah, Buster is starting to get loose. I've noticed up there at turns 1 and 2, so he's losing a lot of distance in 1 and 2. As Dennis Wright is really pouring it on down too. He's there with Buster. So this thing's going to come down to the last lap.
Does the 4 car have enough? Does the 3 car have to now defend against the 4? Does that give the 29 the win as we first the white flag here?
Yeah, we got the white flag there, so as we're heading down into turn 1, it looks like, unless one of them make a mistake here, they're going to finish 1, 2, 3, just where they're at now. But Lewis Buster is definitely pouring it on, as well as Dennis Wright, trying to get back up there. But I just don't think they're going to have enough to take it here in this last corner away from Jeremy. But Buster drives it in hard. Down into 3 and 4. It looks like they touched there for a little bit. And we got a dogfight coming down to it. Jeremy's going to try to block that inside line. They both go away. Oh, wow. Nice win by Jeremy.
Awesome finish. Look at that. Jeremy put the block on big time on the number 3 car for his second win here in Kentucky.
You really had to throw that block in there because you knew Buster was going to try to use it all right there, which he did. And Jeremy, superb job putting it down there and going right with him. You knew he was going to try to do that.
Oh, what an awesome race. And the 4 car does take 3rd place there. Nice run for the 4 car there, finishing Dennis Wright there in 3rd place, the 15th car. What a run, finishing in 4th. And how about the 87, Kevin Kelly Jr. with the top 5. Awesome run for the Kevin Kelly Jr. there, finishing in 5th place.
Wow, great run by all these guys up front. Jeremy Enix, congratulations, on taking home the win tonight. Lewis Bussa in a very exciting second place finish with, like you said, Dennis Wright running out the top three. Then Darren Bidge pulling home a fourth place for Metal Militia tonight. Good job on that number 15 crew. And like you said, the 87, Kevin Kelly Jr. pulling out the top five. But the big one there, the number 34 of Ben Britton comes home in sixth place. That's going to make a major implication in the point standings after this week, as Brian Lee relegates himself after the issues with tonight's race. Will finish 20th, so that's at least 14 points that Britton will pick up tonight. So that'll put him only about 8 out of first place in the points championship. Golly. So a lot of exciting action here at the end of the race, and I got to say, like I say, congratulations to Jeremy Enix on a fine win tonight. But we'll be back with your winners here after this short commercial break from NuffWorld TV.
Are you looking to start your own professional internet radio station the easy way? Sam Vibe was specifically designed for you. From the makers of Sam Broadcaster, Sam Vibe takes advantage of the cloud to let you focus on what is important, managing and running your station. There are 5 simple steps to get started with Sam Vibe. 1. Sign up for a free account at NuffWORLD.com. No credit card information is required to get a free account. 2. Download and install Sam Vibe. 3. Check your email to retrieve your account information and login details. 4. Run Sam Vibe and enter your username and password. 5. The Sam Vibe Quick Start Wizard shows you the first steps to start your station. Simply upload your music, turn on your station, and tune in. Too easy? Don't worry, Sam Vibe caters for the needs of both novice and professional broadcasters. Sound exciting? Give it a try. Sign up for free now at SamVibe.com to experience how broadcasting should be.
And welcome back to Kentucky Speedway here in Sparta, Kentucky, for tonight's running of the year named here 400. So had a lot of green flag racing, but interesting, great finish there at the end, a lot of excitement. But I'm down here in Victory Lane right now with tonight's winner, and Jeremy Enix, man, kind of take us through those last 10 laps. We knew you guys had touched a few times prior to that, but that last restart, it was just a dogfight from then on. Kind of take us through that.
Yeah, I was having trouble on those restarts, so I knew I had to get out there and just clear him and hopefully hold him off. I know he's a good racer and he wouldn't try and wreck me, so the main thing was just holding my line and basically not letting anyone else catch us, but staying ahead of him at the same time. You couldn't make a mistake or else you were going to lose. I know a couple of times we got into each other. He hit the wall, that lost him the race, and then I got loose a couple of times, but thankfully he didn't dump me either, so it all worked out in the end.
I think those especially that last lap, how much were you driving out the rearview mirror on that?
About 95% of it. I didn't even look forward. I was too worried about where he was entering, how low he got, how he was coming off, how close he was. I wanted to try and stay in front of him as much as possible.
It looks like your car definitely on the short runs with fresh tires. Looks like it's really stuck to the track really well. Is that kind of the case tonight?
It might have looked like it, but that thing was wrecking loose. It was more of a long-run car, and thankfully we did have a couple long runs, but once we got these last cautions, I got it tightened up so I could have something for him at the end, or else I would have just went straight to the back.
Now, we've kind of played out there over the longest time. You had a lot of green flag racing, and, you guys were, you and Lewis Bussa were just kind of lapping the field, so to speak, left and right. But how did that last, well, near last caution after those long green flags, how did that play into the pit strategies that you had for the night?
That was huge because I was actually considering short pitting to see if I could gain anything on anyone. I was third and there was no one around me, but once that caution came out, that changed the whole perspective and I had a shot at the win.
Right. Looks like you brought home that it's a beautiful machine you got there tonight, but I want to say congratulations and turn the mic over to you. Any sponsors or so you want to send a thank you to, then this is your time, bud.
Yeah, I want to thank all the admins at NuffWorld, Buster, Wills, Lacey, you, Chuck, Kelly. Want to thank our sponsors, TV Creative Designs, The Roadrunners, TeamSpeak, Vine for Design, Game Informer, Nuff Radio, Holes on Post, Spatial, Potomac, Diamond Medical, all those guys that make it possible. And I want to thank you guys for broadcasting. You guys do a great job.
All right. Well, like I say, congratulations, Jeremy, on a hard-fought victory tonight and your name here 400 at Kentucky Speedway. I'll throw it down to Ed Wilson, who's standing by with Lewis Bussa, from my understanding.
All right, thank you, Ducey, and yeah, I'm down here with the second place finisher of the night, Lewis Bussa, in the Quaker State 3 car. Congratulations to you, Lewis. It looked like you were about ready to defend, get a second week win in a row after last week's win at the road course.
Yeah, it was looking that way until I knew when that caution came out, it just changed the whole race because Jeremy and Smoke and the 16. There was a good 5 or 6 of us that we were all really good and really equal for about 20 to 30 laps. It was after that the cars would just change and I kind of gapped the field a little bit. But I knew as soon as that caution came out and we had like 40 to go there that it'd just be a dogfight on whoever could come out with the best track position from there on out.
Yeah, most definitely. We were talking about that in the booth there just before that caution came out. We were talking about how the 29 might not be too upset if one came out, but we could tell that your car was so strong throughout the long runs that you didn't want to see a caution come out, and that was going to make it a little bit more of a dogfight with the 29 having a pretty fast car there on the short runs. So did you make any changes to your car to try to compete with the 29 as far as quickness early in the run, knowing that there was not that many laps to go at the end there?
No, I didn't change a thing. It was just the same setup I ran the whole race. I didn't no adjustments on it. If we had that one after the caution, it was about a 17-20 lap run. Just before that last caution came out, it looked to me like he was really starting to get free in the center of 3 and 4. So I was thinking I was going to have him there. And then he got real loose one time, and I saw like a little bit of an opening, and I drove it in there, and got him. I got him loose, and I got loose, and we both kind of came out of the corner, hitting each other. But it was just good, hard, clean, good hard racing for the win. That's what you got to do.
Yes, it was some great racing.
I don't know. I thought if that last caution wouldn't have came out, I thought maybe I could have got him. But as soon as the last one came out, we were all equal on tires, and you just kind of gotta. You hope for the best track position there, and then I got the wall coming out of 1 with about 6 laps to go, and it gave me more damage than I thought it would have, and I just couldn't really get a run on him after that. I was just kind of stuck behind him following his draft. I got 1 run on him coming out of 3 at the end of it, but it just wasn't enough.
I was going to ask you there. It looks like you got the wall a couple of times there at the end, and we were talking about how you were really pressing the issue, which you should have been during that time of the race there. And did that, other than the momentum, did you have to change your line a little bit to deal with maybe the minor damage you may have gotten from those taps on the wall?
No, not really. All I was trying to do was I was just kind of trying to mirror what he was doing because. I noticed what his car was doing all race, the way it was sliding up out of the corners. But it's just, if I could have got underneath of him, I still don't think I could have passed him out there. I needed to get to the outside to pinch him down.
Yeah. One more question before I let you go celebrate your second place finish there. With about 4 to go, we saw you test the outside and test the inside. Were you going for it at that point, or were you trying to see where opportunity would arise with 1 or 2 to go there?
I got to his outside coming out of 3, and that was where I was wanting to be. That's where I knew I'd have to make the pass because I would have had to get out there just to pinch him down to keep the momentum up because I got to his inside once and I just couldn't keep the momentum up to get by him, and he blew right back by me when we hit the back stretch off of 1. So that's what I was going for, but I just didn't have the right entry angle, and he was able to just gap me again going into 1. So it was just the way it worked out. The track position just he did everything he had to do, ran the right line, and it would have took a big bobble from him to get by him.
There you go. Well, congratulations to you on a strong second place finish, and what an exciting race there at the end. And I tell you, you needed him to make a little mistake, and he wasn't buying in. He wasn't going to make a mistake, and he blocked you to the very end. So congratulations to you on your second place finish there. Just another strong, impressive race by the 3-car of Louis Bussa. Anyone you would like to thank before we let you go?
Yeah, all the admins and Jeremy and Smoke, everybody that was racing up front and racing clean and everything. Justin at the end of that last restart, that was fun, and all the sponsors that we got, everybody that Jeremy named. If there's any sponsors that's listening to this, get a piece of the league, come in here, and try to do something. We'll do something for you, or get a sponsor a driver or something. There's a lot of talent in this league, and if you can just get your name on one of the cars, I mean, these drivers that's in this league, they're not going to make you look bad. So, just thanking everybody for a good race and a great broadcast.
Awesome. Well, there you have it, folks. The second place finisher there, the 3-car of Louis Bussa, bringing it home. And so with that, we're going to take it down back to Ducey, who I believe has the 4-car of Dennis Wright with him.
That's right, Ed. I'm standing down here in the garage area with the driver of the number 4 machine, Dennis Wright. Good run tonight, Dennis. Bringing it home in 3rd place. Looks like you had had a very dominant car there in the beginning of the race. Leading the first 50 laps or so. Was there any track changes or such that went on, kind of affected your car any throughout the night?
Yeah, we figured it was going to get loose, so we started out a little bit tight. Then after we got that, first few cautions, we stayed out and just, kept it like it is, and then we loosened it up, and then seemed like just never got it back the rest of the race. We just stayed loose.
Right now, when you came down, Dennis, and you had that one pit stop and had the penalty on pit road, how much did that play into how you kind of had to drive, so to speak, at that point?
I knew I had to be patient, but then I knew I had to get back to the front. Because if I lost touch with the 29 and the 3 and it went green, our race been over with.
Now, watching, looks like your pit strategy tonight, looks like you were on a little bit of a different pit strategy than most everyone else. And how much did that caution there, after the long greens and stuff, looks like you had possibly already made your last pit stop. How much did that play into, the overall finish tonight, and what was your thoughts, when that came out?
Killed us, because we short pitted, and then after the cycle through, I seen how much of a gap I had, and then after Lewis caught me and passed me, I figured it'd be just about another 10-15 laps. I'll make my pit stop, and then by the time it cycled through, I figured I'd have another good gap and could probably hold it off till the end. Then we had that caution and had to take the wave around.
I know that we were talking about your pit strategy up in the booth and stuff, and it seemed like I said, you had a definite different one, and that may have hurt it. But how much was as far as we got up to 87? Looks like you guys had a good battle going for a long time with him trying to stay there on the in the lucky dog position, staying on the lead lap. Did that hinder your progress any? And as far as trying to get away from Louis Bussa there in that long green flag stretch?
No, my tires were pretty much giving up on anyways, and when the car was loose, I couldn't drive it up off the corner, especially 2. And then it was so loose getting into 3 that when I got back on the throttle, I had no choice but to walk it up the track. I couldn't hold it to the bottom.
Okay, well, congratulations on bringing home the top 3 tonight, Dennis. You had a great car, looks like all night long, but turn the mic over to you. Any sponsors you want to thank and such? This is your time to thank them all if you'd like.
All you admins that do a really great job. You broadcast guys, y'all do an excellent job at broadcasting. Like Buster said, all the sponsors, NuffWORLD and Halls on Post, all them guys who sponsor us.
All right, so there you have it from driver of the number 4 car, Dennis Wright. Congratulations, like I say, on a third place finish tonight. You know, had a great car all night, but kind of turn it over, Buster. You want to talk about big night tonight for Ben Britton, an unfortunate incident here for Lee. But you want to kind of take us through that points shake-up after over with?
Yeah, Brian Lee is still our points leader of 610 points. Then we got Ben Britton, who moved up 13 points tonight with Brian Lee's problems on the track. So he's currently 9 points down. Justin Barton moves up 1 position ahead of Christian Vasquez by 13 points, is now 77 points behind the leader. Frankie Samanto moves up 2 positions, up to the 5th place position. Denny Gutierrez moves back 1 position. Stays in the same spot. Dennis Wright moves up to the 7th place position. And then Dale Reynolds is our big hit tonight, missing the race tonight, so he actually has moved back to the 8th position from 5th place. Then Benj moved up ahead of Chuck Garcia, and Chuck's now back in 10th place.
Yeah, a few little shakeups there in the point standings tonight, but Ben Britton really been able to make up a lot over the last 2 races. Unfortunately, Brian Lee with the early exit out tonight definitely, cut down into that points lead. So it's tightening the battle up as we go on into, getting not far out of the chase now.
Yeah, that's definitely right. Ben Britton is making, and he's been so solid here in the last couple of races and able to capitalize on Brian Lee's issues on track. So definitely a good run for Ben Britton tonight.
Yeah, definitely. Ben Britton was able to make up some distance tonight. But I want to say, like I say, once again, congratulations to tonight's race winner, Jeremy Enix, bringing home the trophy here tonight. Rounding out the top 3, 2nd place, Louis Bussa, and 3rd place, number 4 of Dennis Wright, who had himself a good run tonight. But I want to say to everyone, thank you for stopping by and checking us out and hanging with us tonight for live racing action here at Kentucky Speedway in beautiful Sparta, Kentucky at the Your Name Here 400 presented by NuffWORLD TV. We'll be back again here next week, live racing action. So stop by, check out your favorite driver, cheer them on, and until then, this is Douglas Sargent up here with Ed Wilson and Stephen Mahana. I want to say good night and enjoy your week.
Link engaged.
Welcome to TeamSpeak, advanced voice communication software for any platform. TeamSpeak allows groups of people to communicate and share information with anyone via the internet or through private networks. Using your Windows, Mac or Linux-based computer, all you need is a headset with microphone, and in minutes you can be chatting with others in real time using our crystal clear voice technology. As a pioneer in the industry, TeamSpeak has become one of the most recognized brands in online gaming and voice-over IP solutions. TeamSpeak features include a customizable toolbar, a clickable server icon and support for channel icons, custom graphics and VB code-enabled info panes, detailed user info and support for uploading avatars, firewall-friendly file transfer, tabs, public and private text chat with logging, custom skins, themes and sound packs, and much more.
I'm someone that's more than just a casual gamer. It's important to me to have fast, organized, quality voice comms. With TeamSpeak, I'm able to quickly customize user permissions and email a privilege key to an offline user. So the next time they log into the server, they'll be set up exactly how I want them to be. TeamSpeak also lets us do file transfers, assign player rank, insignia, upload avatars, or create custom skins. For me, there's no better choice out there than TeamSpeak.
TeamSpeak is free to use for non-commercial entities. Low-cost professional hosting is also available through our global network of authorized TeamSpeak host providers. For online gaming titles, social networks, government, military, or simulator projects, TeamSpeak also offers a software development kit. The TeamSpeak SDK allows developers to integrate our technology directly into their existing product or service. So no matter which game you're playing or with whom you wish to communicate, TeamSpeak has you covered. TeamSpeak. Flexible, powerful, crystal clear voice communication on any platform.